everyone, and welcome to Halls of the Undermountain King. Thank you for joining us for an evening of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm Liz, and I'll be your Dungeon Master tonight. We are thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG. For those who are new to Dungeons and Dragons, everyone here plays fantasy characters in a fantasy universe. The players hopefully each have their own unique character with sheets that tell them who they are, what they can do, their deepest secrets, the spells they have, and most importantly, what dice to roll. They will mostly be rolling a 20-sided dice to see if they succeed in what they're trying to do. The higher the roll, the more likely the outcome will be in the roller's favour. 20 is good, 1's pretty bad. Don't roll 1s, no pressure. And whilst they play their characters, everything else in said fantasy universe is played by me. So people, monsters, atmosphere, condensation, you name it. Between me describing the world and story, the players describing what they want to do, and some dice rolls to keep things unpredictable for all of us, we will tell our tale. What I'm going to do is invite everyone to introduce themselves. Not your characters right now, we'll get to that in a second. Please tell us your pronouns. And if you could, let us know your favourite D&D creature and why it's your favourite. So I'll start. Hello, I'm Liz. I use she, her, they, them. My favourite creature is a boggle because the name sounds ridiculous and they look silly.
Hi, my name is Pav. I use he, him pronouns. My favorite creature is an abyssal chicken because it's probably the biggest fiend that I could actually deal with in real life.
Hi, I'm John. I use he, him pronouns. And my favorite creature is probably a will-o'-the-wisp because they're small, they're delicate, and they will mess you up.
True.
Hi, I'm Hannah. My pronouns are she, her, and my favourite creature is a beholder because they do what they say on the tin, and I love that about a character. What does it do? It beholds things. Great.
Oh.
That's all I need.
Hi, I'm G. I use he, him pronouns. I had decided previously that my favourite was an abyssal chicken, and my backup was a beholder, so I feel like I need to choose something else.
Maybe we could custom, mush them together and make a abyssal beholder.
Oh god,
or
it
a
doesn't
beholder
need-
chicken.
Beholder chicken.
But
yes.
G, your choice.
I mean,
A chicken.
I was about to say another sort of amalgamation, which is a turtle dragon, just because they're just giant turtles, which is great.
Awesome.
Hi, I am Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns. I think my favourite has to be nice and simple and an owlbear, because when I was first being sold on D&D as a concept, I was told, and they have owlbears, and I didn't get to encounter one in a game for another couple of years, and I was so excited when there were finally owlbears.
I love owlbears so much because it's like, oh, they're just so cute. I don't want to be in an encounter with you. I'm going to distract you and run away.
I think Chris originally set up a really scary encounter, and then instead I just squeed at the snowy owlbears for quite some time. They weren't too happy with me.
Thank you everybody for introducing your names and your pronouns. This stream will run for 3 hours. There'll be a 5 to 10 minute break somewhere in the middle. It is improvised, so we don't know exactly when that will be, but we'll have a go and see what happens. We are delighted to be sponsored by Hero Forge. Hero Forge offers fully customizable tabletop minis with dozens of fantasy races and thousands of parts to choose from. You might have seen some of us create some characters using Hero Forge. It lets you build your perfect mini, and you have an in-depth character creator right in your web browser. It's constantly expanding its catalogue of customization options. There is literally always something new every time you go on there. So yeah, check that out at heroforge.com. We are also delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro. Get your tabletop organised with character folios and dice bags. Ultra Pro is the leading manufacturer and supplier of sports and gaming collectibles, as well as other gaming accessories. What I'm going to do is show you one. I've not taken it out of the box, and the reason why is I'm a bit of a collector, so I like to keep things pristine, not gonna lie. This is a gazer, and this is how big it kind of is meant to be in game. They're tiny, and they have a little cute underbite thing, and I think they're adorable, in addition to bobbles, obviously. These are little, these buddies are like the mini version of a beholder. They're like the level 0 beholder. This is where they start out. So yeah. If you're on Twitch, join us in the chat to win a free gift voucher. Just say something and you'll be entered into a random draw, and these can be given out all over the world. Head to ultrapro.com and get one of those cool little figurines of adorable power. We're also sponsored by the wonderful Elderwood Academy, who are the premium purveyors of bespoke gaming themed gear, including hex chest dice boxes, spell book deck boxes. I'm going to show you this one too, and I'm going to try and open it without the dice coming out. They smell awesome. Do head on over and get one. You can currently get 10% off your Elderwood purchase with the code ROLLTOGETHER at checkout. Find out more at elderwoodacademy.com. We're also sponsored by D&D Beyond, your guide to digital D&D. You should be able to see everyone's character sheets on the overlay on the left-hand side of the screen. We're also sponsored by Level Up Dice. There's a link in chat for our Table Shakers range. And lastly, we're also sponsored by 2 lovely D&D video games, Idle Champions and Warriors of Waterdeep. There should be some codes at the bottom of the screen. You can type !Idle Champions and !Warriors of Waterdeep into Twitch chat for download links. And for Idle Champions, there's a code you can directly enter into game or type !Code into Twitch chat. Whereas for Warriors of Waterdeep, type !Wow gems into Twitch chat for a link, which you'll need to use on the mobile device where you have the game downloaded. We are Roll Together RPG on all socials. There are going to be links in chat. Do like, follow, and subscribe. A massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You can find a link in chat. Help us make our shows from just £1 and unlock more tiers by joining. Our shows are also available as podcasts. Just search Roll Together RPG on your favourite podcasting app. Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans and GNC positive, and we encourage and champion trans and GNC players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own. We aim to avoid misgendering, but acknowledge that it does happen, and have a company policy in place for correcting people on pronouns. If we miss an instance of misgendering, we are open to being corrected, so please do let us know if you think one's been missed. And now let's jump into the intro for Halls of the Undermountain King. Beautiful mansion stands 3 stories high in the picturesque seaward of Waterdeep. This beautiful mansion is close to Wim Street, near the Market Square, and is the first house in this part of the city to feel the soft warmth of the rising sun upon its shining roof tiles. As the sun rises, it marks the end of Midsummer Night and welcomes this day, Shield Meet. Shield Meet is a celebrated day in Waterdeep. It's a festival which falls upon the calendar once every 4 years. Within this beautiful house in Waterdeep are some well-known heroes. Their past adventures within the Yawning Portal Tavern and the well within that leads down to the never-ending halls of the Undermountain have seared into history. Probably not legend, but definitely history. And as a result, these heroes are pretty well off and can afford such a fancy house in such a fancy part of the city. The early morning sun casts its golden rays upon the eastern side of this beautiful house. And we're going to start by looking in through one of the windows, obviously. We're going to start by looking into the second floor room, situated near the library and the armory. G, who do we see? What do they look like? And what does their room look like?
So in the room, it's just a kind of quite nicely decorated room. Nothing really overly kind of fancy, but just kind of very very well done, like competently done, I guess. That's a terrible description.
I like it.
Like it's not flamboyant or anything. It's kind of a bit practical, but in the bed, there is a halfling with kind of ragged hair that looks like it hasn't really been washed that recently. Wearing like a cloak and leather armor, sort of on top of the duvet, but the duvet's all sort of just messed up from this is not someone that is a sort of peaceful sleeper, I don't think. And on the other side of the room, there's a sort of like a chaise longue kind of thing with a wolf asleep on it, and a wolf with an eye patch on its left eye.
Awesome. And could you tell us their name?
Sure. The halfling in the bed is called Cato, and the wolf is called Larkin.
Amazing. I'm gonna address Larkin. Is that okay for you?
Yep.
Awesome. Larkin, you hear what seems to be the sound of rustling going on downstairs. Your room is above the kitchen, and clear as day, you don't need to roll for this. You can hear the sound of clanging. Now, the sun has only just risen. We're talking 5 a.m., probably 5 a.m. So that seemed odd. There is a window in your room, just so you know, as you sort of get up on your chaise longue, and it looks over the courtyard by the side of the house. You spot merchants with wheelbarrows maneuvering over the cobblestones towards the market square, getting ready for the day. The clanging downstairs did not correlate with that, so it's clearly something within the house.
Okay. I would, Larkin would get off the bed, or get off the chaise longue, and the door has been adapted. There's like an extra handle, basically. So it's not a handle you have to turn this door, although it does have a lock. But there's like an extra handle at sort of wolf head height for Larkin to be able to just pull the door open and go and investigate what's going on. He wouldn't be stealthing.
Good to know.
He's at home, he feels safe. He reckons that the noise is one of the other 4 people that live in the house.
Very daring. And with that, I'll leave you where you are, Larkin, just coming onto the second floor landing. Over the landing from you, on the western side of this floor, although the sun doesn't shine in through the window in which this character is, what does welcome this individual is the scent of freshly baked bread coming in from Bready Steady Bakery outside. John, who are we looking at? What are you doing? What does your room look like? And what are you called?
So the scent of the bread makes its way through a very heavy velvet curtain. And it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the room, which is very elegant, very refined. It's a room that a nobleman might have chosen the furnishings and the furniture for. So beautiful pale peach wallpaper with an embossed pattern of like vines and flowers, really nicely made furniture. Someone spent a bit of money on this room, but it's slightly ruined because all over the floor are just pages and pages and pages of sheet music. And then empty wine goblets, full wine goblets, empty plates, not so empty plates. There are candles everywhere, on sconces, on tables, dripping down. And then on the walls as well, when they've run out of paper, there's music, just notations and scores and things written everywhere. Sometimes in ink, sometimes possibly in gravy, possibly in blood, not quite sure, quite a dark brown. And the bed is a beautiful wrought iron bed, and face down in it is Heimlich Stratovarius. You can't see his face because he's literally face planted in it on top of the sheets. But he's got very wild hair. He's in kind of a disheveled evening dress with patches of leather armor. He looks like a man who needs to eat and sleep more, but he is getting to sleep at the moment. Oh, and also, in the corner of the room, there are set up some chairs and some music stands for a quartet. And in one of the chairs, there's a skeleton holding a cello.
Amazing. So Heimlich, on the bed at the moment, face down.
Yeah.
Are you in your full outfit still?
He has fallen asleep in the clothes he was wearing, as often happens.
Okay, so that's like a suit, isn't it? Like a dinner jacket suit.
Yeah.
Nice. So Heimlich, you've raised your head from the soft mattress. You look out of your window, and it's early, which is odd. Did you say there was a curtain over your window?
Yes.
Okay. You won't be able to see what's outside, but you know what is outside, so I'll tell you anyway. So, Waterdeep is full of giant statues, and they were once said to walk throughout the city in an event a century ago called the Spell Plague. They've all got individual names. There's a Hawkman, but there's one specific one that's near your room. It's called the Godcatcher. And mid-rampage, the Godcatcher was sunk into the pavement to the waist by the wizards protecting the city. This statue now is buried to the waist, one of its legs completely under the earth, the other is trying to pull it out, and its hands are raised like this. Hence the name, the Godcatcher. Heimlich, it faces away from your room, and I can understand why you have the curtain drawn, because every morning what would greet you is the sight of the Godcatcher's butt, just resting upon the pavement. Beyond the butt as well, you see the old concert hall, or you would see the old concert hall, the Zulper concert hall where you have been previously. Even in the morning sun, it gathers shade. But while you're sort of pondering about what would be beyond that curtain, you also detect clumsy movement downstairs. What would you like to do?
I would, if I've been rested from my slumber, I will go and presume someone is awake and hopefully making coffee. And I will go and get some coffee because I have something very important to write.
Marvellous. You open the door. It opens. You see Lorcan looking suspicious. But we'll come back to you in a minute. The top story of this mansion holds 3 bedrooms. 1 that sees the sun rise and 2 that see the sun set. The room that sees the morning is vast. It has an extended roof. From the outside, it looks kind of odd. It's like the biggest extension you've ever seen in your life. It has a huge window with small bear claws in each of the corners. Hannah, who do we see in this room? What does their room look like? And what are you called?
Varya, or Varvara Scarred-Hide, is a Loxodon barbarian, hence the size of the room that has been customized to fit her reasonably sized for a Loxodon frame. The bed is large and comfortable. Everything is simple, apart from, on the wall facing the bed, are racks of weaponry, including some beautiful decorative items, but most of them look pretty utilitarian. Some of them look like they've had a story attached. And then everything's in its place, more or less. It's not, Marie Kondo levels of there's nothing in there. But apart from the weapons, everything's relatively simple. Varya's getting used to having another place to put her own little stamp on, and apart from the bear claws around the window, she hasn't come up with anything except for a very poorly done, or a reasonably poorly done, mural, which she tried to do on her own, and it didn't quite work out. But who's going to tell her? Yeah, that's what she's doing. That's what she looks like.
Nice. I have a question because Varya tends to use her trunk, doesn't she, for any fighting? Did she use her trunk for painting?
Well, obviously, holding the paintbrush in her trunk and the palette on her hand, but then using the other as sort of a balance, as sort of leaning back and stepping away. The paint went everywhere, but you know, it's dried now, and so it is recognizably a bear, but probably not very realistic. Maybe representationally a bear.
I love it. I like to think that perhaps below the easel when you were painting this, there was quite a nice rug, which is now colourful. Anyway, Varya, thank you. You get a marvellous view out of your window with the little bear claws on. Your room, of course, towers over many of the buildings, and you are treated to rainbow refraction from a roof of a nearby jeweller's. Their roof is encrusted in lots of precious gems, and as the sun hits it, it kind of dapples into your room. Could you make a perception check for me, please?
I absolutely could. Let me just get to it. That's a non-nat 20.
Oof, there's something downstairs. I'm just going to give it to you. There is something all the way downstairs. You hear your friends on the floor below come out of their rooms, and something isn't right.
Varya barrels out the door, no care about if anyone's sleeping or not, and makes a beeline for the kitchen.
Amazing.
Obviously grabbing a weapon as she goes.
I feel like that goes without saying, but yes, marvellous, good. That happens. And we'll leave you there for the moment, Varya. Pav, your character's room is on the sunset side of this top floor. What does your character look like? And what does your room look like? And what are you called?
So my character is called Dusk, and he, when he is in his bedroom, he looks different to how he looks when he is not in his bedroom.
Oh.
So in his bedroom, you will find him. What did you say? You said it was at 5 a.m.
Oh yeah, more or less.
You will find him at 5 a.m. with a pink, kind of fur-lined eye mask, lying in bed, with in his 4-poster princess bed. He has one of those beds that has a sort of veil over the top. Have you ever seen? It's not exactly 4-poster, but just has a bit of a veil around it, and enjoying some beauty sleep. And at this point, in kind of a sort of nice, comfy, very fluffy room, that he had a tea party with some of his teddies the night before, which are all around the table to the right. It got a little bit lively, so there's some remnants of it's a little bit messy there still. But he would be, I think, sound asleep at 5 a.m. in the morning with eye mask still on.
Amazing. I'm literally picturing all of that in my mind. I like it. So I'm going to say that something does wake you up, and that's possibly the sound of a locksmith slamming their door open. Another thing perhaps comes into your senses, and that is the wafts of baked buns and bread drifting up from Bready Steady Bakery. But in addition, as you open your eyes and witness the scene of the little tea party that went awry, out of your window you see 2 columns of pink smoke rising from the bakery's twin chimneys, which can mean only one thing. Bill the baker is experimenting.
Love it. Well, I think that, Dusk would initially wake up with a start and throw off the eye mask, and then notice the pink smoke, and be torn, as he often is, between different impulses, and then begrudgingly throw on a black, heavy woolen, full-length coat with hood, cover up, and rush after the sound of the loxodon.
Awesome. You see Varya making a beeline down the stairs, but we'll come back to you all in a second. Lastly, Rebecca, no light welcomes your room, but the faint smell of bread does drift in. Tell us about who you are, where you come from, what your name is, and what your room looks like.
Okay, so if you walk into Ember's room, it looks very, very plain, empty almost. It is painted navy blue. The walls are bare. There's nothing there at all, no furniture, except in the corner by the window that faces the sun when it sets. There is a very simple shrine. Nothing too fancy, nothing like dusk, but, candles, holy books, something comfy to sit on. But if you look up, or perhaps if you are Varia, if you bang your head on it, suspended from the center of the room, from the ceiling, is a woven wicker globe, basically, that hangs with a little opening. If you look inside, there is a dim glow constantly from it. It's never dark. And a nest of brightly coloured silks, and curled up in there is a fairy, blue-skinned. Lots of slightly gently glowing freckles. She is only a foot tall. She is called Ember. And she is not a morning person, so she is definitely fast asleep.
Amazing. Perhaps Ember was fast asleep. There was a lot of noise going on that landing. Does your little sphere, does it have little windows to see outside?
It has one arched entrance that she draws a curtain across, which is her please do not disturb me. I think she leaves the front door of her room open most of the time so people could come in and chat, but then if the curtain is drawn in her little nest, it's a please go away.
Got you. I feel like mornings for Ember aren't the best a lot of the time. Mainly because usually what tends to whiz past your window, in addition to the pigeons that perilously perch upon it, it's the Griffin Cavalry of Waterdeep, and they do their training drills past your window every day, so you're going to get woken up around this time anyway. In addition to that, you do have a lot of noise going on outside. The sound of slamming doors, your friend's gentle pitter-patter of stompy feet perhaps wakening you. Make a perception check for me as well, please, Ember.
15.
Ooh, 15. There's a mass exodus going down the stairs.
I think Ember starts awake and is halfway through a grump and catches it, and instead says her morning prayer about helping those around her and how glad she is to serve. And then, do I have time to put armor on? It's what I do first thing in the morning. But
I'm going to go ahead and say yes. It takes 30 seconds to put armor on for Ember because it's so tiny.
Sure. But still just as protective. I like this.
Yes. So the stairway, this convergence, as you all stumble upon each other, making your way downstairs, in your various states of alertness, can you give me an idea of the facial expression which you're all pulling right in this moment? That's beautiful. John, I'm not seeing much change, but that is beautiful. So you all,
Acid, baby.
you all thunder down the stairs. You near the bottom. Now, you are all quite wealthy, and this house is pretty beautiful. Yes.
Well, I think coming out of Larkin coming out of his room he would have assumed that the noise was either Heimlich, because Heimlich is known to Larkin as someone that creates noise that bugs. Mostly the skeleton playing the cello, but I think our Varya clangs things a lot and bashes things and creates noise just by virtue of her size, I think. So his assumption would have been that the noise downstairs was one of them. Seeing everybody else, he's kind of gone, oh, okay, no, this is something else. So he's called on Kato and just, Kato, heal! And the halfling has jumped up from the bed and has run out, and he's with Larkin as they go downstairs.
So he runs up to you, Larkin, and the head cocks instantly, but then he kind of realizes what he's meant to do and then kind of follows you. So yeah, as you near the bottom, what you see, with your wealth acquired through various means, most recently going to the Undermountain and fighting lots of evil creatures and amassing quite a good amount of gold, you normally see quite a beautiful little space downstairs, like a nice open plan lounge kitchen area. This house should be beautiful. It was beautiful. The stairs come down to this place, and to your left is the kitchen area. There is rustling. You don't need to roll for this. There is rustling coming from the food storage. Specifically, your individual cupboards where your individual food stashes are held. Despite the clutter and the mess, the morning light coming through the window is beautiful. What would you like to do? You are roughly about 30 foot away from these cupboards.
Is this cupboard where Varia's mug is kept?
I mean, I didn't want to say anything, but it might be.
I was going to ask.
I would like to walk towards the cupboard, investigating what is inside by way of smell.
Ooh, make a perception check. Would that be with advantage?
Yes, because I'm a wolf. It is.
Sure. Go for it.
Oh no. Oh, that's...
Off it goes.
Okay, cool. So that is 27.
Yo.
Oh, sorry, 17.
Slight difference with those two numbers, G. We'll go with that 17. No, it's fine. Yeah. So, as you approach these cupboards, we'll say you're approaching yours specifically.
Yeah.
The smells of two things. First is definitely vermin related. Second is almost sulfuric poison.
Does anyone know what kind of rodents are poisonous?
Varia's not listening. There is something going near that mug, and it's not her. So, yeah. Anyone else wants to answer before I?
Best I've got is an abyssal chicken, but I doubt it.
Doors open and abyssal chickens run out at you. No, that doesn't happen. I'm gonna say, I mean, if you want to roll nature checks, you may. Although there's quite a rustling and sort of clanging coming from the cupboard drawers, but please roll your checks.
15.
Say again, Hannah?
Don't think Varia would wait.
Oh, okay.
I think it's going straight to the cupboard and opening it.
All right. Well, Lorcan, as you think, the rats are getting bigger at the moment. Varia just rushes in, opens up the cupboard. Varia, what you see is a fearsome brute, sickly green in hue. It's not only eating your food, and I will ask you to tell me what your favourite food is, but its little clawed hand is near your mug. Now, these creatures are the size of big dogs. Well, yeah,
that's
quite
fine.
Big dogs. And it kind of towards you. And I'm going to need you all to roll initiative for me, if that's all right.
Please, could I turn to Varia and give her Vigilant Blessing so she gets advantage on it?
On initiative.
Yes. She seems
initiative.
cross.
Do you need to be in touching distance? Or is it just a...
Near any creature you touch.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw for me, just to see if you can kind of at fire as she leaps.
Does it help that I'm flying?
I mean, it could do.
Ooh, that's a 19 on the dice, so flat 19.
Amazing. I will say that, yes, you're able to do that as Fire rushes past you. You've been fighting for a while together. You know what each other are likely to do, and often there is a barbarian that likes to rush into things trunk first. So, yes, if you could all roll initiative for me, that'd be fab.
Mm-hmm.
16.
16 for Lorcan.
Also 16.
Who out of Lorcan and Ember have the highest dexterity score?
Lorcan, mine is 0.
+2.
Okay, so yeah, it will be Lorcan, then it will be Ember. Hannah, I didn't quite hear you if you said...
Oh, sorry, 17.
17. Okay, that's the same again, wasn't it? Because we've had 3 17.
No, we were 16.
Thank you. I know maths. Heimlich, what did you get?
6 for me.
6. Okay. And Dusk.
22.
22. Okay. So Varya, we will be starting with Dusk, who somehow arrives to his cupboard roughly at the same time as you. Dusk, your cupboard opens. You see purple matted fur and a scar down its right eye, this rat. What kind of foods would it be holding on to that would be in your food cupboard?
Well, in the front of my food cupboard, we have oats. There is maybe a potato or two. In the back of my food cupboard, which may or may not have been accessible to this creature, there are baking ingredients as well as some decorative sprinkles.
Amazing. So, the potato's been kicked out. It's gone straight to the flour. On its face is just this mass of flour with sprinkles in it. It kind of turns to you and, what would you like to do?
I would like to punch the creature that has desecrated my cupboard several
Understood.
times using my monk abilities.
Roll to hit.
Big
Right.
mood.
However many times you will be doing so as a monk.
Okay, great. So the first one is a 27 to hit.
Yeah.
The second one is a natural 20, so 28 to hit.
Amazing.
And so that is my 2 attacks. Then I will use my bonus action to also attack, and that is a 22 to hit.
Beautiful. Do you want to roll your damage? Do you want to do your natural 20 last? Can we just
Yeah.
also have a yay for the first nat 20 of the game?
Hey.
Yay!
So roll your damage and we'll do that nat 20 last.
All right, so that's an 11 on the first hit, a 9 on the last hit, and then the nat 20 is gonna be using the wonders of D&D Beyond, a 13.
Dusk, do you want to tell us, just to point out, if we wish to knock these creatures out, we can.
Sure.
But Dusk, would you like to let us know how you will dispose of your rabid, very territorial rat in your cupboard?
What I will do is, with the first blow, very artfully make sure that I knock them out of my cupboard, rather than damaging any more of my groceries. And then once they are out on the floor, I will give them 2 swift smacks about the head, with the hope to bring a quick, clean end to their existence.
Understood. That happens. There is a puff of flour and sprinkles for the rest of you just come out of nowhere. You're not sure who has those sprinkles, but Dusk's rat apparently does.
I immediately close my cupboard as well after that happens.
It snaps shut, and you turn around, sort of watching your friends as they approach their rats. Good work, Dusk. You ended that in 1. That was awesome. Varya, quite cross, I'm guessing. What would you like to do?
Bloody miffed.
The rat is looking at you and slowly reaching for your mug.
Okay. Right. I'm going to splat that rat. I think. I get 2 attacks per action. So I'm going to. I did bring my great axe with me.
Yep.
I'm just gonna splat that rat. I think I'm pretty good at with my free action, can I grab my mug with my trunk and hold it up in the air?
Sure.
Yay!
In fact, can we make a contested strength check just to see?
Strength.
Yes.
Fine. No.
What did you get?
7.
Oh, well, the rat rolled a 19 plus 1, so the rat's like, as you try and grab your mug away. Do you want to roll to hit?
But my mug!
You'll have to be quite precise. Don't roll a natural 1.
Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna do my best
Uh-huh.
and try and hit it.
Okay. Roll
I
to
have
hit.
mending if you need it.
Doesn't matter, my first roll was a 19 on the dice, so it's plus stuff. It's plus 5.
That'll hit.
Great. Do you want me to roll my second attack as well?
Whatever's easiest for you. I don't mind.
And that's another 19. We love to see it.
Amazing 19s. Roll your damage twice.
Yeah. Oh, if I lose this mug already, I'll be very upset. Right, that's my 12. That's 9 for the first one, and that's an 11 for the second. So 9 plus 2 is 11, 11 plus 2 is 13. So 13 plus 11 is 24.
Amazing. Okay, not quite ended this rat, but you have dislodged the mug from its hand. Fortunately, the mug isn't going anywhere. It's still on your shelf. The rat, not best pleased about this, kind of territorially kind of spins round and kind of looks you directly in the eye. With that fire, are you staying where you are? I'm guessing you're...
I want my mug.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not moving away, just in case it yeets it. You know?
The ideas. Lorcan, over to you. What would you like to do?
Yeah.
Just so you know, you open your cupboard and you see a manging, sort of balding creature foaming at the mouth. What is it trying to get at in your cupboard?
So the stuff in my cupboard is kind of bespoke. I've managed to find. I think there's maybe a baker or a butcher somewhere nearby. Maybe it's Ready Steady. What was it? Ready Steady Bakery.
Ready Steady Bakery.
Ready Steady Bakery.
Ready Steady.
So Larkin, having been a halfling previously, and now with wolf senses, has kind of an interesting taste palate, and so we don't have like a cook or anything in this house, do we?
No.
But no, in his previous residence, he did have somebody that was very good at like experimenting and creating things. So he got some recipes. He's managed to find somebody that will make these things for him. So there's kind of just some boxes or little packets of these kind of little meatball type things that made specifically for him. And I guess Cato's food would be more along the lines of standard like pies or biscuits, or maybe some fruit in there as well, I think.
Amazing. There's currently a meatball hanging out of this creature's mouth. What would you like to do?
So I think I would get Cato alongside me, and we'd creep up, and I would grab the door handle of the cupboard and pull it open, and Cato would just barrel in. Basically, he has
amazing.
He's pulled his two swords, his sword and scimitar, and he takes his attack and extra attack, in fact.
Awesome.
So
roll to hit.
Oh, that's rubbish. That's an 11.
11 misses. Perhaps Cato's not used to fighting things in cupboards.
No. He's distracted. Like, he's just woken up. He's hungry. It's breakfast time for him. So
feed me, new person. Yes.
And 26 was the other one.
The 26 will definitely hit. So roll the damage on that one.
In fact, sorry, there will be a third attack as his bonus action. So that one is a 15.
15 points of damage.
No, sorry. The third attack would be...
to hit. Excuse me. That one hits too.
That one hits too. Cool.
Yeah.
But that one doesn't get the modifier. So that one... Right, so damage-wise, we have... That's only 8, and then... Oh, no. 9 points of damage.
So is that on the first one or both of them?
That's both.
Both of them. Okay, so the first slash kind of goes right into the wood of the cupboard. It's kind of pulling on the second one as he slashes with the second blade. He then frees the blade that was in the cupboard and slashes again. 9 points of damage, maybe slices the meatball in trois and gets slightly into the rat, but not enough to end it. Unfortunately, it's still kind of curling towards the back of the cupboard. Lorcan, is that your go?
Yes, that is.
Awesome. We will move over to Ember. Now, Ember, perhaps the smallest of the rats is in your cupboard, perhaps the size of a cat instead of a large dog. This one looks the most vicious. It's got a chip on its shoulder. You get the impression perhaps it's the leader, as it kind of looks you dead in the eye. What's in your cupboard? What's it getting at?
Blueberries, anchovies, and marzipan.
That's the best breakfast ever. It's tucking into all of those, like ramming them into its little face, and its little teeth are blue. What would you like to do?
I think Ember gets quite excited because when there's real peril, she has to do lots of whizzy spells. But for rats, she gets to use her flipping enormous maul.
Correct.
So she will fly forward because it is quicker for Ember to fly than instead of walk. So she's usually flying. And I think to start with, as a bonus action, I would like to cast... Where is it? Spirit Shroud.
Okay.
And some spirits flit around me that are intangible and invulnerable, and they will add 1d8 of damage. I'm assuming I will fly forward until Ratty Thing is within melee range. So
Got you. Yeah, you are face to face with said Ratty Thing.
Cracking. Are any of the other creatures within 10 feet?
There are, yeah. So they're sort of in a line. I placed you all in like a Marvel-esque kind of hero line going towards your cupboards, and the cupboards are within 5 foot of each other. So yeah, there is a creature to your left, Ember. You're on the very right-hand side. So the creature in your cupboard, and then there's one in Heimlich's cupboard to your left.
So both of those have their speed reduced by 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Awesome.
And then I would like to whack it as hard as I possibly can with my maul.
Okay. Could you just describe them all in comparison to your size? Could we just get an estimate there?
Probably about yay big.
And you are
1 foot tall.
Yeah. Okay.
It's maybe a halfling-sized weapon for a 1 foot tall fairy.
Awesome. You wield it amazingly. Do you want to roll to hit for me, please?
I would. Yes, please.
Yeah.
That was 17 to hit.
That'll do it. Yep.
And that's 2d6 plus 3 and a d8. Ooh, that's a 10 on the 2d6. And then the d8 is an 8, 18, 21 points damage.
Oof. 21. There's blueberries flying from Ember's cupboard. Again, not quite enough to get it out, but you've done a fair whack of damage. Ember, is that your go? These spirits flying around you?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. It's now the rat's go. So we're 1 rat down. I'm going to go in their line as you've approached. Lorcan, the rat in your cupboard, it's looking at Kato, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It will roll to hit. It has advantage on this because it has an ally within 5 foot. It only rolled 9, so make that 15.
That does hit.
Okay. You suffer 3d4. 12 points of, Kato suffers 12 points of piercing damage. Now, this is where the scent of poison comes from. As the bite connects, it does release some poison. Kato suffers 3 points of poison damage, and if Kato could roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Sure. Let's just check. Cool. That's a 14.
That's definitely what you need. In fact, one more than you needed. The poison's about to take hold, but Kato kind of shakes his head and resists it. Cool. Okay,
Sorry, was that 12 and then 3 poison?
Correct. Yeah. So the poison damage will still be taken, but Kato's not poisoned.
Cool.
Cool. Vaya, your rat in your mug cupboard is going to attempt to try and hit you. That is a 17 to hit. Does that beat your AC?
It does. I mean, I'm a big thing to hit, so yeah.
But it didn't roll very well, fortunately. So that is maths. 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Plus 3 again, poison. And if you could please make for me a Constitution saving throw.
Absolutely. That's a 12.
That's just under what you needed.
right.
You are currently poisoned. At the end of your next turn, you can re-roll and end the poisonous effect. You currently have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks as a result of being poisoned. The little teeth sink into you. The tail brushes the mug, fortunately, into the cupboard, not out of it, as you take that hit. Dusk, your rat is no more, so does not attack you, but Heimlich. Your rat has bulging eyes, yellowing teeth, and a flaky tail. Are you near it? Have you approached it?
No, my cupboard has bottles of wine and whatever the Dungeons and Dragons equivalent of pot noodle, because I do not look after myself very well. I do not know what that is. Some kind of field rations in a cup when you add water, and it's very good.
Yes.
So I do not think it can do much damage there. So I leave it to Nora and the wine bottles. And is it my go, or is the rat going to do something?
It's still the rat's go. You hear crunching and the sound of a spoon stirring on whatever the D&D version of plastic is in your cupboard. Moving on, the rat in front of Ember, having just taken some damage from a massive maul, it's going to try and bite you. Unless you flew away. I don't think you did. I didn't. Yeah. It will do so with advantage again. In total, that is 18 to hit. Yep. Okay. The quite big teeth in comparison to you do sink in. I rolled really well. That is a number which is 17 piercing damage.
Ow!
The mean rats, followed by 2 poison.
I can handle 2 poison, okay.
And poison. And if you could roll a Constitution saving throw for me, that'd be great.
Yes. Idiot check for me. I have Warcaster, which I've never had before. That's only advantage on Constitution checks for spells, not for just
Concentration spells.
So I should take one because Spirit Shroud is concentration.
Great. So yes, we'll say 2 separate ones. So you take the hit. We'll do the Constitution for the poison.
Poison is 14.
14 is what you need. Yep.
Yay! And then concentration is another Constitution check.
Correct.
Advantage. That was 16.
16. How much damage did you just take? I cannot remember.
19.
19. So I believe that drops the concentration on your Spirit Shroud because you did not beat the damage dealt by the hit.
Boo. Okay.
Sorry. As that dissipates. But it was fun while it lasted. I liked it. Heimlich, the noise of pot noodle from your cupboard is quite substantial at this point. What would you like to do?
Well, seeing my good friend Varia and her precious mug in problems, I would like to help her. So I will raise my hands as if there is a conductor's baton and say, "Fortissimo, Varia, fortissimo," and wave it at her and inspire her.
Yeah.
So you have a bardic inspiration to use to try and counteract all that poison.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You can add that to damage with the new extra fancy bard stuff that you can do if you want, but maybe to hit, who knows.
Yes.
And then for my action, that looked like quite a nasty rat on Ember, so I will turn to that rat and tell it, "You are so ugly the plague refused to live in you," and give a vicious mockery to it, which it needs to make a wisdom saving throw for.
Okay, well, it rolled a 2.
That's 3 and 6 psychic damage.
6 psychic damage, okay. It looks visibly offended, actually, at those horrid words. Drops the spoon to the pot noodle and just kind of snarls at you, Heimlich, as you say these words.
Oh, sorry, that was on the rat that's attacking Ember.
Excuse me.
Damage.
Apologies. That rat looks visibly offended and snarls at you, Heimlich. Offended at your words. Is that your go? Are you...
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm gonna hang out with that.
Got you. All right.
Rules lawyer, I have just double checked. It is half the damage taken or 10, whichever's higher. So I think I do still have a Spirit Shroud.
Amazing. Thank you for checking that for me.
Thanks.
Cool. I always thought it was like more than the damage taken. I was like, that really sucks when you get higher level. That's
just
great.
Really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for letting me know about that. Feel free to keep on top of me for those things too. Thank you. Heimlich, if that's your go, we will budge on over to Dusk. Dusk, your rat is now no more. To your left, you have Varya's rat. To your right, you have Heimlich's rat. What would you like to do?
As long as my cupboard is now fully closed, we've dealt with that situation and everything is. I think what I will do is head over to. I'll head over to Heimlich's rat.
Uh-huh.
Give Heimlich a hand. I will try and I'll try and pop between Heimlich and the rat without Heimlich noticing, and give it a good old punch,
Okay.
as I'm wont to do.
All right.
In these situations.
Roll to hit.
I will. Okay, so that is a 25 to hit on the first and a 23 to hit on the second.
That'll do it.
And then the damage of each is 6 and 7. So that's 13 damage.
13 points of damage. Okay. So Heimlich's door is kind of in two stages. It's kind of opening and closing as this rat rustles about on the inside. You just open it, punch it twice, and then kind of go back to where you were before. It's really quick, and it does a fair whack of damage to the rat, which is still stirring its pot noodle.
It's still going, in which case I will throw another one because I have 3 attacks because I'm a monk and I've never played a monk before and it's fun to punch things. So that's a 23. And that one is going to do another 6 points of damage.
The rat thinks it's all over, and then Dusk's like, no. Opens the cupboard again, gives it another whack. The rat is perhaps looking more purple than it was before, but it is still standing. Thank you, Dusk. Are you staying where you are?
No, I think at that point I'll just scurry away.
Okay. You'd be able to do that without getting any opportunity attacks. Cool. Varya, what's going on?
So miffed. Maybe it's because it's first thing in the morning. But
Varya doesn't do mornings. If it helps, this rat isn't looking too hot right now.
yeah, I'm gonna just try and hit it again. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Do be like that sometimes. Okay, that's a 17 plus 5.
Yes, that will definitely hit. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait, hold on. It was a disadvantage though.
Yes, it was, because you're currently poisoned. At the end of your go, you can reroll.
Oh,
your
no, that's fine. It's a 16.
Yep, still hit.
Plus 5. Still hit. Great. So, splat that rat. Now it was cocked. That's not helpful. That's the 11. 11 plus 2. It's 14.
Now, you get the impression that you wouldn't need to use your second attack on this rat fire, as it sort of gets punched into the back of your cupboard and is now unmoving as your not sponsored by mug kind of rocks and then comes to a standstill as you, with a free action, would be able to grab it in at your hand if you wish.
If it's still on the shelf, then it's fine. Is there a rat next to me that's not dead yet?
There is in Lorcan's cupboard to your left.
Right.
There is a rat still standing.
I'm going to hit that rat then, because I've still got a second attack.
Sure. Roll to hit. Kato's kind of rummaging around in there, but sort of come out after, I think, being bitten by one of the rats.
Right.
Yeah.
My lower one was at 15.
That hits. Roll your damage.
Great. 6.
6. Every little helps. Yes, it's...
If you want.
Oh, good point. Pardon?
Varya, you hear a little...
Spells. Sorry.
Is it a D4 or a D for inspiration?
No, hang on. It's magical inspiration. It's not for you. Sorry, got confused.
Oh, so I do not have inspiration. I see.
You can't add it to damage, but the spellcasters can.
Got it. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, that's fine.
We're learning
Sorry,
things
first
today.
time playing
No, it's
Learning
good.
things.
No.
Well,
it's
6 points of damage and I've secured my mug, and that's what matters.
totally. Varya, you hear a slight German accent in your head, which kind of goes, no, it's okay. No. Cool, thank you, Vaya. If you're staying where you are, looking at the rat in Lorcan and Cato's cupboard, Lorcan and Cato, we will move over to you. What would you like to do? I will say that you will be able to get into your cupboard should you feel the need to.
Yeah, I think Cato would just get into the cupboard as the rat is kind of, if it's moving back inside and trying to huddle away. Cato would go straight in there. He's also now woken up enough to remember to use a bunch of the features and things that the character build has. Yeah, he will again take 3 attacks. And remember that his fighting style is 2-weapon fighting, so he does get to add the modifier.
Oh, cool.
That's a bad one. So a 14, a 23, and a 10.
The first 2 hit.
First 2 hit.
Vaya, could you roll a Constitution saving throw to see if you can shrug off that poison for me? If it goes above a 13, you're fine. No, you're not fine.
Can I use my inspiration now?
You do.
Yeah, you can, Varia.
That's an 8.
An 8. That
So
doesn't
a D8
oh,
added, right? Because inspiration adds. So that's 8 plus 8, 16.
You're fine. The poison is now diminished and you feel right as rain again. Sorry, Lorcan, back over to you.
Yep. So the 2 attacks, damage-wise, do. They do 10 and then 7, and I'm using Favoured Foe, which means I get to add another d6. So 10, 17, 21 points of damage.
Lorcan and Cato, how would you like your rat to be removed from your cupboard?
So Cato, I think the first one is takes a swing and the rat kind of manages to dodge it. And that's the point at which Cato just dives in, both swords, and just impales the thing against the back of the cupboard.
Yes, there's now no movement within your cupboard, Lorcan, as that happens. Marvellous. Is that your go? Are you staying where you are? Is Cato coming back out again?
Yeah, that's my goal.
Awesome. All right. In that case, we'll move over to Ember. Your rat is still in front of you, but not looking that great at all. What would you like to do?
I think Ember raises her maul and then looks around at the bit of rat that's already splattered across her blueberries, changes her mind, and will cast Sacred Flame instead.
Yeah.
Cantrips.
That's not fire, is it? That's not fire damage, is it? I don't think it is.
Radiant.
Radiant.
Yes.
That's it. Good for those wooden cupboards. Just asking.
Yeah, I'm not chaotic this time. Otherwise, sadly.
Yep.
That's a 17 to hit.
17 hits. Roll your damage.
Cool. So that's 3d8 because I still have the spirity what's-its.
That's amazing.
That's a d8, and that's a d8, and that's a d8.
Uh-huh.
Counting.
Yay.
4, 6, and 7, so 17 points of damage.
Tell us how the Sacred Flame reduces this rat to nothing.
I think knowing that it's going to be the killing blow, Ember will just shoot it straight out and go, "Tell Araneth I said hi."
The rat looks at you in its final moments and goes, "I will." So Ember, your rat is now no more. Good. It's now the rat's go. I believe we only have Lorcan's rat and Heimlich's rat remaining.
You said I killed it.
Oh, excuse me. You did. Thank you. I can read my notes. In that case, we only have Heimlich's rat remaining, which is still in its cupboard. I think it's going to attempt to flee. And as it does, I'm going to say, everyone, if you'd like to roll an attack of opportunity, it's going to try and scamper out of its cupboard, onto the tabletop, onto the counter, and out of what was a window that was slightly ajar, but now is a window that's kind of like cranked open. You can tell that they've got their way in through there. It's going to try and escape. So if you could all roll for me attacks of opportunity, that'd be awesome. We'll start with Dusk.
That is a natural 20, so 28.
Okay.
And the damage is a 10.
Let's go ahead and assume that you all hit. Do you all want to roll me some form of damage of whatever you were going to roll? As this rat is kind of stopped on its way out.
12.
6.
12.
1, because I will stamp on it.
Heimlich, with that last move, after everyone has just sort of laid into this rat, it's kind of lovely. You watch Heimlich kind of just like mosey on up to this counter, take quite a graceful step onto it, and just stamp down emphatically, ending the creature. Good work, everyone. The kitchen is now not very pretty. What would you like to do? You're in a kitchen that's full of dead rats, which I'll assume you are not going to leave there. We'll say that you just sort of shove them out the door gently.
Can I get unpoisoned?
You rolled your DC check and you succeeded, so you're no longer poisoned.
Yeah. Good point, well made.
I will start to do some whistling and some little movements and cast prestidigitation as many times as it takes to clean up this filthy kitchen.
There is never too little use of prestidigitation, can I just say. I love that spell. Heimlich, you make your way across and prestidigitate everything. I assume including everyone else.
If they are covered in rat guts, yeah.
So yeah, the hour is early. The light is still nice. The kitchen is now no longer as covered as it was.
Is anyone poorly enough that they would like help, or is it just what a little sit down? We'll be fine.
A little sit down. Could I roll to investigate the window where we think they came in?
Sure. Anything specific that you're wanting to check?
I just want to see, because I would think that being a House of Heroes are relatively security minded. How the fuck did these guys get in?
So what I will say just before you roll is it is summer. So that makes sense for the window being slightly open, but please roll an investigation check just to see what happened.
Yeah, okay. I will do that now. Have advantage on investigation, which is nice because it's not very good. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's a 12.
12.
Yeah.
So the window's made out of iron and wood. The wood has splintered where it's been gnawed away by these creatures. They were quite strong, and you got that from some of the hits that they did. The iron is slightly bent and buckled, giving the impression that they've kind of just heaved their way in, smelling the food. Do you wish to leave it like that, Vaya, or would you like to try and...
I'd like to try and bend the iron back.
This is what I wanted from this game. Could you roll for me a strength check, just to see? If anyone would like to help as well with that strength check, please shout out.
If I see Varia attempting something technical, I will just gesture over to her. My very grey eyes will go completely black, and dead spirits, and you have guidance of 1d4.
Thank you.
I am tiny, but I'm quite strong. Can I help?
Of course you can.
Guys, you don't. It's chill. I got a 23. We're fine.
Okay.
Oh, nice. I will say that, Ember, you do help. Sorry, Vaya.
I helped.
No, of course you helped.
As there's this kind of almighty as the window kind of goes back into place. Some of that wood does splinter somewhat and kind of falls off at a sort of strange angle. But you can contact the Carpenters Guild later to get that sorted. The house is now secure.
Add it to the chore list.
I like to think you've got quite a big chore list of stuff that you want. You want this house perfect, yeah? You want it right.
It's important.
I would like to stealth out to the bakery if possible.
Ooh, okay, nice. Do you want to roll a stealth check for me to see how stealthy one stealths to the bakery?
Yep, I got 27.
Okay, yeah, I'm guessing that does not beat anyone's passive perception. Dusk is gone. I'll come back to you guys in a second. Dusk, you make your way across the cobbles. There was a bit of drizzle last night. You see between the cobbles the remnants of that just about to evaporate away. Even though it is early, it's warm. you make your way to Bready Steady Bakery. It's a posh little bakery, and it's got an awning and a seating area outside. They offer all sorts of gorgeous baked goods, but Bill is known for his experiments. As you exit, Bill doesn't know you come in, so he's not going to come out and greet you, but what would you like to do?
I'd like to walk up to the counter and I'd like to put a gold piece on the counter.
Cool. So as you approach,
saying nothing.
Okay. As you approach the counter, you see the back of Bill. He's fussing away with something, putting it into like one of those square cardboard boxes. He turns around and will notice that gold piece on the counter and kind of look around. Didn't notice the door open. Looks a bit creeped out. Hello?
I'll just like wave above the counter.
You scared the life out of him. He kind of jumps and whatever he's carrying kind of scatters everywhere, and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Dusk, you're here." Bill is this short and stout fellow, human. He's got greased hair and a jolly moustache. He gets kind of a cheeky, kind of sneaky look, Dusk, as you make yourself known after he is terrified. He goes, "1 second, old boy," and he nips into the back. And he comes out with quite a plain package. Square, again, another cardboard box, and kind of puts it on the counter and just pushes it across to you. He opens it up and you see within what looks to be 4, at first glance, quite normal cupcakes. You get the scents, you get blueberry cupcakes, you get lemon cupcakes, honey and poppy seed. But as you look into them, he's actually got some steps for you to actually get onto the counter because you're such a regular, so you're able to see on top. As you look into the box, where the blueberry cupcake and where the lemon cupcake are, underneath there's an eerily pink glow. Bill raises one eyebrow and beckons you to just lift those up, old bean.
I'll pick up the blueberry cupcake.
You lift it up. It's hollow, and where the hollow is, in its place, is a very small, pink, glowing cupcake, and that's the same for the other one as well.
Amazing.
And
put it back and close the box.
Okay, you close the box, and he says, for when things get a bit fisticuff, it'll help you. And he goes on to explain that whatever an action is, you take one. When you consume the muffin, or the cupcake, I suppose, you will feel hasted. So, Pav, for you, it acts the same way as a haste spell, without concentration. And you get 2 of those.
Amazing. I get 2 of them. So it says there's 2 cupcakes that have that, and the other 2 are just normal cupcakes.
They're just normal cupcakes. They're just normal cupcakes. Yeah.
Can I put another gold piece on the table, and then just be like, I just say very quietly to Bill, can I also just get a cupcake for everyone in my house?
Yeah, you don't need to whisper. Yes, I will go and get those for you. And he nips into the back, and he comes out with a selection for you, and an additional one for yourself as well, Dusk.
Perfect. And I'll take both the boxes, which presumably are quite big compared to me, and then walk back.
They're quite light though, so that's nice. You kind of potter out. Are you stealthing back? If so, do so with disadvantage because there's a lot of bulk going on.
All right, I'll go for it. I rolled a 21 still.
Oh, yeah. The rest of you don't notice the door open, but all of a sudden on the kitchen counter, there's one. I'm guessing you're gonna put one box down.
Yeah.
There's one box of cupcakes. Is this a common occurrence, Dusk? Does this happen quite often? Do you nip across to Bready Steady on a regular basis to get cupcakes for your friends?
I would say that yes, but I would never explicitly say that I bought cupcakes for everyone. I'll just leave cupcakes there.
Okay.
Perfect housemate.
Awesome. So, a bit more time has passed. You've kind of gotten the place back into how you want it to. Please, could I get some history checks from everybody? Because you get the feeling there's something you need to be doing today.
11.
I got 18.
18 also.
Also 11.
One. Okay. So those of you who rolled above a 15, you need to go pick something up. And you need to go to Eileen's Exotic Emporium for an order that you've already paid for. It's still a little early, but there's, if you go slowly, you'll be able to get there for those doors to open.
We have the appointment with Eileen today. Our order. They told you.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Heimlich. I'd forgotten about that. I think at this point still, Larkin is trying to, like, Kato's in the cupboard now. He's having his breakfast, and so I'm just managing to get him out of the cupboard at this point.
It's a bit of a chore. Yep. So yeah, it's
these two legs poking out of a cupboard.
Very that. There's all sorts going on, and all sorts of meatballs and things kind of getting chucked out, and he's getting the things that he likes to eat. He's got his little biscuits, and he's kind of gnawing away at them, and eventually.
And, like, the dead rat is still, like, impaled to the back of the cupboard with his two swords, I think, just next to him. But
yeah, he kind of leans back against it and just eats kind of casually with one foot dangling out of the cupboard at this point. What would you like to do? You can make your way now if you wish.
Sounds good. Varia is going to put the... I assume the cupboard has, like, handles, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah? Varia is going to take will have gone back upstairs and come back down, and there's just a short dagger, and puts it through 2 bars of the handles to make sure someone's going to have to really be quite dexterous to remove the dagger. Basically, child-proof, rat-proof this before we head out. But yes,
I'll grab a cupcake from the box and then stand by the door waiting for everyone else.
Got you. The smaller cupcakes, Dusk, are you taking those with you? You would be able to stow
I think
those.
I will. So if I manage to stealth in without everyone seeing, could I have maybe put them in my room? It's a bit of a trek, but maybe would I have been able to, like, in this time, have gone up to my room, put them in there, and then come back down?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then so I'll just come back down, and then I'll grab a cupcake, catch the tail end of what Heimlich is saying, and also have remembered that that's what we've got to do next as well, because I rolled an 18, and then I'll just stand by the door and just wait.
Got you. All right. So you all kind of get yourselves ready for the day. Waterdeep, usually they don't allow weapons and stuff, but because you're quite well known as sort of protectors and good folk, you are permitted to carry your weapons with you. So the market square isn't far from where you are. It's a 10-minute walk at best. You do go from the sea ward to the castle ward of Waterdeep. There's not much change in scenery as you go, but on the way, I'll say you lock the door, maybe not in the Varya method properly. You properly lock the door. You do pass the bakery, Ready Steady. Bill's outside and kind of arms crossed gives Dusk a bit of a knowing nod, kind of stealthily.
I ignore it.
Yeah. He's unsurprised by this and kind of shrugs it off as he welcomes in a little old lady who's there for her bread in the morning. You make your way to the market square. And on the way, make a perception check for me. What kind of order are you going in? Are you going, like, in a line? Are you going like shoulder by shoulder?
If Varya is okay with it, I will be sitting on her shoulder.
Nice.
as we head out, Varia will hold an arm out so that way if you want to fly up, you can, but if you want to walk up, you're also welcome.
I will totally do that. Land on your hand and walk up.
Amazing.
I'll probably be towards the back.
Mm-hmm.
Heimlich will be walking just slightly behind Varia because he just get distracted. He hears things in his head and starts thinking, oh, that would be a good melody. I should write that down. The presence of Varia is very reassuring, and he always knows which way he's heading because he can be aware of her. And he's picked up his white viol and bow from his room, and he started Helga, the skeleton, to Helga scales. Very good. Yes, practice. So Helga is now
She's
really badly playing scales on the cello.
Yeah, you shut the door to the house and just that kind of lilt, that horrid kind of flatness comes down the stairs. It's audible from outside. I'm going to assume that Kato's kind of giddy to be outside.
Yeah, he is. I think he kind of runs, he's doing a bit of like running in circles around the group. And like he is good at, like, you know, he was a trained combat wolf before he was a halfling. So he can just pull his shit together when he really needs to. But I think Larkin actually quite enjoys it, frankly. He puts up a bit of a front of, oh, for God's sake, but he thinks it's great, and he sort of just lets Kato run a bit, and Kato has a climbing speed equal to his walking speed, so there's a bit of like climbing up the side of a building and just like looking in windows and things. Generally checking out what's going on.
Yeah, I like to think at one point Kato just brings you like the smallest twig and looks at you expectantly. But as that happens, Lorcan, you notice down an alleyway near the market. You're kind of close. There's two young girls and a little lad playing. There's a young tiefling with horns she's still growing into, and there's a small sort of dwarf girl wearing what looks like once was quite a smart outfit, but now it's just covered head to toe in mud and scratches and all sorts. The youngest is this turtle lad who's wearing a Wizard of Waterdeep t-shirt. It was a travelling theatre dramatic production. Lorcan, could you make a perception check for me?
Yep. That's a 17.
Amazing. There's quite a ruckus going on. The young dwarf stands high upon a milking stool holding a baguette aloft and shouts to the other two, "I am Sir Lord Biddledy-Boop III!" You guys walk past, and for a brief moment they don't notice you, but the entertainment does continue. The tiefling says to the dwarf, "Sir Lord Biddledy-Boop, you are mean." And the young turtle lad looks round for inspiration, like he's trying to find a name, then gets taken by the moment and just hides in his shell. As you walk past, they do notice you, and this puffed up bravado kind of fizzles to nothing as they go silent, especially Varia when you walk past. The jaws hit the floor.
Varia is used to this.
Are these like local kids? Are these kids that I might have seen around before?
Ooh, make a history check. Let's see.
That one.
Oh, no, they must be new. You've never seen these little things in your life. They are part of the city. You see them every day, but it's early.
Can I use Druidcraft just to make a tiny puff of fireworks above Varia's head?
Of course you can. What are you trying to do with this? Just make them like...
Just increase the awe, because Varia is that cool.
Awesome. Varia and Ember, make a performance check for me. Varia just is standing there.
Okay.
No.
One day I will roll a character that has... 16. It was a -1, but 16.
A 3.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's this beautiful sort of like... tell us what that looks like, Ember.
So Ember likes blue and gold. So in thinking very quickly, it will always be blue and gold. And I think just maybe from the tip of Varia's trunk come like just a shower of blue and gold sparks that curl up over her head.
Amazing. Varia, this scares the crap out of you. You do not expect it. So you kind of like fall a little bit, then you realise what's going on, and then you kind of, ta-da! They all go like, oh my God, that's amazing. The one with the baguette is kind of, she's mid like hitting the other one on the head, and the baguette kind of snaps in a comic fashion and falls in a puddle. And she just doesn't stop looking at you and picks it up. I'm Betsy, says the tiefling. How old are you? I'm 9.
I think Hannah can't remember how old Varia is. Back to the description. Let's see. I'm okay. Varia looks down and goes, "I'm 70."
The dwarf next to the tiefling says, I'm Cobble. I'm 71.
Don't look a day over 9.
Do you want some bread?
No, I'm good. Look, okay, are we going? Varia's not the best with kids.
Got you. You turn tail and kind of skedaddle out of the alleyway. What are the rest of you doing as this scene unfolds?
Is there a wall nearby?
There is. It's an alleyway, so it's about 10 foot in width. There's a wall either side.
Okay, for the purposes of entertainment, Dusk will walk up to one of the kids, let's say the tiefling, give him a wink, and then go to like walk to the side of them and then just like walk up the wall, and then along the wall a little bit and then walk back down.
Amazing.
And then carry on after Varia.
Are you able to climb that wall, or do you need to make a check for it?
I will make a check for it, and I will try and do it. I'll try and be very slick. Maybe what I'm thinking is like maybe I'm going to try and like jump between the walls or something like that.
Okay.
Seeing as it's like quite a tight alleyway.
Roll an acrobatics check.
I will. That is 14.
14. It's easy enough. The walls are not slippy here. You kind of expertly kind of dance between the two walls. The kids are just in awe. The little turtle kind of raises his head out of his shell and kind of realizes what's going on, and he gets really involved with it. All of this sort of comes to a head, and they tell you about their game. They tell you that it's this thing where they pretend to be these adventurers, and they do pretend fights and stuff, and it is cool, they promise. And it goes on.
I agree. It's very cool. It's exactly the kind of thing I used to do when I was younger. Although when I was younger, I looked more like him. I kind of nod at Ketel.
They're just looking at you like, he's talking. And if there's anything else anyone else would like to do, I will go ahead and say that you make your way to Eileen's, which is where we'll pick up after the break. We'll be about 5-10 minutes, and we'll see you soon. And we are back. So, you leave the scene that's going on in that alley, and you are making your way to the market square. The market square seems different today. There's people putting festive bunting up. The first thing that strikes you as you enter the market square is a long rail in the centre, normally where there would be stalls and all sorts of things. There's a long, what appears to be a jousting rail, with tiered seating either side. A sign reads Jousting Tourney of the Shield Meat Festival. There's another sign close by, and that reads Penny Farthing Fest. There's some strange new wheeled iron contraptions leaning against some of the tents that are for the nights, the jousting festival. So you've entered the market square. To your right and slightly behind you is Eileen's Exotic Emporium. It's an eccentric establishment. It has a bamboo roof, drapery on the outside. There's a bronze statue of the goddess Selune standing outside, and she has delicately placed on her head a sun hat and a large pair of lensless glasses, and a sympathetically placed light scarf over her shoulders. I'm assuming you're all going in.
Yeah.
How do you enter? Are we going full Aragorn door open, or what's the vibe?
I think it's not like Varia's being polite about it. It's just there is a door. It is being opened.
Got you. Varia, you often find that you have to kind of hold back when you open doors, lest they come off their hinges, but you open the door and step in. You will have to sort of move your head slightly. It's kind of a thing that you have to do. As Varia, you go in first, the rest of you follow. Varia, you see a familiar cluttered scene. Eileen's is always cluttered. There's always all sorts of stuff going on in here. There's that familiar musty smell that greets you as well, from lots of things owned by lots of people that she's now selling. Not the people, the things, you know what I mean. The counter is before you, but no Eileen.
Come on, Eileen.
Hey.
That was amazing.
Hamlet takes that refrain and just saying, Terulae, Terulae, no.
No composing right now. Eileen! Eileen!
As you call for Eileen and sing a well-known ballad, from behind the counter you see Eileen's neck first. Eileen being a pink Aarakocra flamingo. The neck is viewed first as it raises up and the head turns to you. Eileen is wearing a caftan and the D&D version of Crocs over the top of stockings, allowing her clawed toes to protrude. She wears spectacles connected to a brass thin chain around her neck. She has lipstick on her black beak, and she beams at you as you all enter. Oh, you've come and sung me a song! Oh, how divine! You're here. You're all here. Oh, good.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lorcan dear. Oh, you're still the same way, I see. No changing you, is there, Petal? No.
Not for the love of trying.
Good, I think. Well, should we get to it? Dusk, where are... Oh, you're there. Hello, dear. You've not grown. No, you... Still the same size as ever, but still those same looks. Anyway, I'm going to go to the back and get your things. I'm going to carry them out one by one in an emphatic manner, as long as you don't mind. And she turns around, and as Eileen walks, she walks in a very kind of serpentine way. The hips are kind of all the way to the left as the head kind of gyrates, and that's just how she moves. And she saunters on to the back. She's going to take a while.
Lorcan just sort of rolls his eyes at her like, okay, here we go again. But as maybe discovered in the past, it's not worth trying to get her to rush or anything. It's just...
No, she usually takes quite a while. You get stuff from here quite often.
known as quite a powerful spellcaster. Is she like a quantity in the world?
Make a history check, Heimlich.
That's a 22. A 20.
Eileen is a purveyor of fine items. She does not have any magical ability herself, but she prides herself on the ability to acquire items through probably various means, but she doesn't really talk about that. But no, she's not traditionally magic in the sense that she is. She does hold quite a few magic items, though.
I think Ember will slip her way off Arya's shoulder just down to Dusk and go, I think you're very tall, actually.
Dusk will look himself up and down, and then at the surroundings, and then at Ember, and say to Ember, "Yeah, I guess it's all relative, really."
And immaterial.
Dusk, would you like to make an insight check just to see where Eileen was going with that?
I will. That is a 16.
16. Yeah, good enough. Every time you've spoken to Eileen, she's always taken a shine to you, but looks a little... She is, with her neck and height, she's about 6 foot, and she's always a bit disappointed that you never grow.
Oh.
But she likes you.
Okay.
And on that note, Eileen's gonna pick her way back to the counter. Oh, Dusk, you're first. You're always first. So, what I have for you, what you requested, dear, are these. And she reaches up and places 2 purple velvet slippers upon the counter and pushes them delicately towards you. They're well worn, cared for, soft velvet. They've got tassels and pom-poms on. The pom-poms have got like little silver stitching, makes them look like spiders. I believe these are the slippers of spider climbing you were so desperate for, dear.
Dusk will throw off. I imagine Dusk is wearing sort of like martial arts style slippers, and we'll throw off those and just like in the corner. And then, like, very quickly, like, put these ones on, and like try and do whatever feels like is required to get them to start working.
Okay. I don't know if they require attunement. If they do, you will have to take an hour to do that. But when you put them on, they're a bit big to start off with, but then they do mold to your feet perfectly. Eileen clocks the shoes that you've cast away. Are you wanting to sell those, dear?
Dusk will say, yeah, if you'll buy them.
She looks at them. She's not going to touch them. I could part with 2 gold pieces for those, if that's something that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, that's nice. Thanks.
They have hands, Aarakocra. She holds 2 gold coins in her hand and waits for you to take them.
I'll take them.
She cups your hand as you do. Oh. Don't spend them all at once, and she lets you leave. Heimlich, dear, where are you? Oh, you're there. Oh. I've gift wrapped it for you.
Oh.
With a tune of my own making, and she reaches up and puts upon the counter what looks to be a sort of cittern of sorts, a cittern. You know it to be an instrument of the bards. It's gift wrapped in old sheet music, and you can see that she has carefully annotated it to what she thinks it should be.
Oh, Eileen's perfect. I mean, that is a bit flat and maybe too much in the major key, but this is absolutely what I was looking for. Thank you so much. Your work is always so appreciated.
I really do feel that the Wintertide carols just need that minor tone. I cannot abide things that are too jolly at Wintertide. I really can't. I'm so glad that you like it, Heimlich.
Time for solemnity, I agree. Too much ho ho ho.
I'm sorry?
Too much of the ho ho ho, the ding dang dong, these bell noises.
It's not that sort of shop, dear.
Oh.
She looks mildly offended, but passes the item across to you anyway. Ember, where are you?
I flap up until I can see over the counter.
Oh, you're there. Oh, you're so wee. But marvelous, all at the same time. Right. Yes, I did get the note. Something in my mind talked to me. I believe it was the Oracle, but I can never be sure.
It would be Araleth. He does that.
Who?
Araleth.
Oh.
Eileen, we've talked about this. Do you need another pamphlet?
Yes, yes, dear. I'd lose all sorts of things in here. I'd lose myself if I could.
Amber reaches inside her inner pocket and brings out a lovely little hand-decorated tract. Illustrations of Araleth defeating Lolth and general, just, how generally great he is. Hands it over.
Well, it's certainly very informative. I'll keep it for later reading. So yes, if it was Araleth that spoke to me, right, and she reaches and grabs a tiny, minuscule little chain. Upon the chain, although it's so small, there is a prominent symbol emblazoned on the front, the symbol of Araleth. Ember, you've received this. It feels heavy, but as you put it around your neck, it feels light. It feels light as air when you put it on. Well, it does suit you, my love. You look marvelous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I wasn't talking to you, but also thank you, Eileen.
Thank you. She looks so confused at that. Lorcan, I'm still trying to find your cloak. I put it somewhere. It keeps deceiving me. She's gonna go.
Yes, I expect they do that.
She's gonna go find that. Varya, could you please come with me? Your gauntlets. I have such bird bones. I cannot.
No
lift them.
problem. Lifting things, one of my skill sets.
So you and Eileen make your way through a beaded curtain. She goes rummaging into the back, but you see on the floor, oh, they're just there, dear, they're on the floor. You see your gauntlets of ogre power. Made of a heavy material. Upon them are images of ogres looking powerful and strong, which I'm guessing you're gonna pick up. She comes back and follows you out with a seemingly kind of normal looking cloak. But you see in her hands, it kind of camouflages. It goes pink where her hands are. And she comes out and look, and she gives you the Nature's Mantle cloak, which I believe is what you ordered. I'm sorry, it flummoxes me every time. It seems to just vanish. It was dressed. It was dressed as some sort of bed in the back. Anyway, it's yours now. It's yours now. And she
Thank you
passes
very
it
much. I appreciate the effort.
Anytime.
I call him over and he grabs the cloak.
He dons the cloak. So yeah, just so you know, if your item requires attunement, you will need to take a bit of a moment to attune to that. So she looks at you all. Oh, good. Oh, you all have your things. Well, I'm glad that I could find them for you. Is there anything else that you would like today?
Is this the sort of place that... No, it would be an apothecary that would sell health potions and stuff along those lines, surely.
Make an investigation check.
Okie dokie. Investigation. I'm gonna investigate something and I have advantage, which is good because that was awful. Though that's not better. 10.
10, not bad. It's hard to see at first. There's 3 potions, but they are hidden behind all sorts of tat. Various clothing items, non-magical, but all different shapes and sizes. They're actually behind a parasol, and the parasol's got random bits of weird stuff attached to tassels. There are 3 potions of healing upon a shelf. Does anybody else want to make some kind of check? Is there anything else anybody would like to try and find?
I'd just like to look around the shop and see if there's anything that looks cool and interesting.
All right. Why don't we all go for an investigation check? But Varya, you have seen those potions.
Cool.
Okay.
9.
It's only a 6.
Was that everyone's roll?
Got a 6 as well.
9.
9 6s. Okay, cool. I'm gonna say you spend about an hour rummaging through this store. It takes a long time. Varya, you're still looking at those potions, but the rest of you, what you see, there's a cloak that seems to billow unendingly. It's on like a coat rack, and it just seems to billow as you walk past it of its own accord. There's a tiny bottle that you find behind a stuffed cat. It has a little tiny powdered wig on the stopper. You wouldn't actually be able to know what that is with those rolls. And you do find what looks to be a long sort of stick of wood carved, and there's a smiley face on the end of it.
I think Kato gets quite intrigued by the billowing cloak,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to just go, no, Kato, we just got you a cloak. Come on, you have to just come over here, sit down, and just. I try and get him to like focus on the cloak and attune to it. It takes effort.
Okay, so Kato's kind of running through this. It's like when you're playing a game and there's drapes in the game and you kind of run through them to see if they move. That's what Kato's doing. He does that for quite a while, but is able to attune to his item. If anyone else would like to do that as well, you may.
Yes, please. Seeing as I've spotted the health potions quite quickly, I'm going to be like, I'll wait and attune while everybody else is having a good old rummage.
Got you.
I think Amber.
I noticed this fantastic moving cloak you have. Please do tell me what. It's very interesting.
Heimlich, dear, I always knew you were very observant. It's a cloak of billowing, my love. You know, you just pop it on and it just billows whenever you wish. That's it, really. It just sort of billows. Do you want to know how much it is?
I'd be interested to know how much a billowing cloak costs these days.
Oh, well, you know, normally I would charge more for those that I don't know, but for you, dear, 100 gold pieces is how much it would be.
Very interesting. Thank you.
What are the rest of you doing? Ember, you were going to say something.
I think after a cursory glance around the shop, she feels her conscience prickling, so we'll go fly up to a top shelf somewhere that's relatively undisturbed and have a quick chat to Araleth to say thank you very much. And attune as she attunes.
Got you. Sure. So Ember, in your mind, you do hear the soft, soothing voice of Araleth, who doesn't say very much, but what they do say is, anytime. I'm glad you like it. Who is the Aarakocra?
She's called Eileen. She's always like that. I'm trying.
You're trying very well. I don't think there's much saving that one. She tries too. She was very confused. You did well with the leaflet, though.
You said we should never give up on anybody, so I'll just keep going. And I'll take out another one and just leave it on the top shelf.
You then hear, good work. What are the rest of you doing?
I'd like to attune as well to my item.
Got you?
Sorry.
And Vaya?
I'd like to buy those health potions, or inquire as to their price at least.
Okay. Vaya, dear. Oh, you found them. Oh, yes. They're a bit sedimenty. You might have to give them a little bit of, a 1-2. So they normally would be 75 gold pieces each, but I will drop to 60.
Well, seeing as they're sedimented, I would hope so, no?
Yes, 60. Are you trying
Each?
Yes, dear, 60 each. Unless there's
I'm
anything
gonna try
for
and
you.
haggle.
All right, how do you want to haggle? There's loads of different ways. You can be persuasive.
Yeah. Or I could just look, give her a hard stare, I think, probably.
All right, okay. So that'll be intimidation. You're going to look into her bespectacled eyes, see the lashes that kind of push against the lenses, looking back at you.
Yep. I roll to intimidate. It doesn't freaking work. I'm proficient in it as well, but doesn't matter. I got an 8.
Oh no, that doesn't work. She kind of flutters her eyelashes at you and goes, "That is 60 each, dear. I've already reduced it. I'm sorry, I can't go down any further."
I'll take 1.
Okay, so you take 1 potion of healing. That is 60 gold pieces.
Okay. Right, adding that.
All right.
Eileen, I wondered that the potions look very nice. In fact, sometimes the sediment adds some flavor, I find. But I wondered if I was also buying this charming cloak, I might be able to get a job lot price for them.
Well, you might have to sing me something special, dear.
I will sing you whatever you like, and I will accompany you with this extremely charming instrument you have acquired for me.
Thank you. John, just so you know, you don't have to sing this. But Eileen is insisting that Heimlich does. Okay, so performance check with advantage, please.
Right. Oh, so the first one was a natural 1, which comes up as a 12. The second one was a 14, which would be a 25.
25. So what's the song that you do?
It'll be, so it's his first time trying out the instrument of the bards, the McFermid Sitten, which is like a really fat lute. It's a lute with a really fat bottom. So he's going to play, inspired by that, like a very instrumental version of Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Amazing. She nods her head and then she goes into like full-on dance mode as you do this. So dear, such a good tune. I can't get it out of my noggin. So normally it's the cloak of billowing that you want, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah.
Normally 100 gold pieces, but since Varya dear's already purchased one of the potions, sedimentary as they are, well, I can drop it to 75 gold pieces. And well, it was so good. I'll throw in another potion for you as well.
All for 75?
Correct.
Eileen, you are too generous. It is just you must stop letting me take advantage of you like this.
I'm not sure what I say back to that, dear, in the presence of company. You're welcome.
Dusk of that, I think.
Say again, John. Sorry, that last bit.
Especially with our friend Dusk over there, I think.
Oh yes, Dusko, you're there. Hello. So, are you wanting to purchase for 75 gold pieces the cloak and the additional potion?
Yeah, it's a bargain.
Nice. That was a pretty good roll for that song. Awesome. So I will go ahead and say you've done that. Are you heading out?
I'd just like to say, so before, Kato, God damn it, Kato having attuned to the cloak, and sort of finally manages to work out actually what it's for, and it lets him hide better and stuff. And I think part of the reasoning behind getting this cloak for him is that since meeting Dusk, who is a very similarly sized and kind of similarly talented halfling, but even better at hiding than Kato is. And Kato is just sort of a bit flummoxed every time Dusk manages to seemingly disappear into thin air. And this cloak lets him kind of do the same thing, and he's amazed by it. So he goes, is sort of just almost kind of like blipping in and out, I think, as he hides and then reappears and hides and reappears, and specifically goes over to Dusk to show this new kind of, look, I can do it too now.
It's very cute. I think Dusk would respond by, if I've attuned as well, like nodding in approval, and then like walking like sideways along the counter, and just like standing like horizontally to Kato, and like giving Kato a nod.
And Kato is just I got kind of like what the, and like looks over at Larkin like, how he couldn't do that before and now he can, what? I don't understand.
Kato try and replicate it.
Yeah, I think he kind of climbs up the counter a bit and then like puts his feet out, or like puts his feet on and then tries to like let go so that he could do the same, and just falls on the floor. And is trying to work out exactly how Dusk is doing this, and yeah.
While all this is happening, Eileen's still talking to Heimlich, but kind of looking around and wondering what the heck is going on in her shop, but then gets distracted by Heimlich again and kind of does the talking thing. Cool. So, with your items that you're attuned to, what I'm going to say is that's not a short rest because you've been actively attuning to your items. But if you exit the shop, Eileen will goodbye wave at you as you exit. Ember. You hear a voice in your head, and this isn't new for you. You're used to voices in your head, as normal as that sounds. But this voice in your head sounds quite worried and sounds quite shaken. You recognize the voice. This voice is Dernan. Dernan is the proprietor of the Yawning Portal Tavern here in Waterdeep. Indeed, the same Yawning Portal Tavern that you've made a name for yourselves in by going down into the Undermountain. The voice in your head says, Ember, I need your help. Customers acting strange. I think the portal's to blame. Can't go down myself. Please hurry, something's not right. I can't... Stops there.
Is it a standard message?
Say again, sorry.
Sorry, can I reply? Is it a message?
You would know of a sending spell. Given the length, you get the impression that yes, it is a sending spell.
Quickly before turning to the group, Amber will reply, ooh, okay. On our way, we are minutes away. Ember knows how far away we are, Rebecca doesn't. Don't panic, don't do silly things. See you soon.
Is that out loud as well?
That bit was out.
Yes, I think it is funny reply.
Minutes away from where, Ember?
Hi, that was Dernan.
Dernan. Yep.
He sounded stressed. Apparently the customers are weird and we need to go down the portal.
Customers are always weird.
Yeah, but like weird enough that Dernan sounded scared. Maybe.
I don't have anything else to do today. This was the only thing on the docket. Let's go.
Yes, of course.
All right. So you've exited. At this point, as you've seen Ember have this conversation with the air, and has relayed all this information to you, you see that the market square now is completely jam-packed. The main streets leading to this area jammed with all sorts of people. There are knights, exaggerated, bedecked in decorative armor on top of horses. There are jesters practicing gesturing. There are actors preparing. What do jesters do? Jest?
Juggle.
Yeah, they're doing all of that. There are actors preparing for performances as old kings and queens, and nobles and people of the court. You see coloured heraldry from the olden days. There's a fella with a leather apron pushing a cart of sight birds over the cobbles. And although the cart is kind of moving erratically, the birds' bodies are, but the heads stay in the same place as the cart moves along. This stuff doesn't seem to be dissipating. Who's got what are your passive perception scores?
16.
17.
14.
I'm a flat 10.
Okay. Lorcan and Heimlich, you are able to discern just by walking past people that Waterdeep Borough Council has messed up the organisation of the Shieldmeet Festival. There's a dispute between the Jousting Knights and the Penny Farthing bicycle stand about where they're placed. There is now a huge backlog of traffic, carriages, drays, pedestrians, knights, jesters, and musicians extending from every street that connects to this market square. Technically, Ember, you are right. The Yawning Portal Tavern is minutes away. Or it was, until now.
So theoretically, I could just fly there, but that maybe doesn't seem wildly sensible to leave you all.
Varya will look at Lorcan and go, old intimidation routine? Clear a path?
I think that's our best option.
Okie dokie. Varya lets out a massive trumpet noise.
Hey.
As a sort of car horn, like toot toot.
All right.
Do I need to roll?
Roll an intimidation for me. Look, and what are you doing?
I would say I give Kato not a nod. I kind of come here and in such a way that he knows to jump on my back. And he has a big lance for when he's riding on Larkin's back. So he pulls that out and so we stand in front of Varya and growl and wield the lance as the trumpet noise goes.
Can I give Kato guidance?
Can I give Varya guidance?
Sure, why not? Yes, go for it. So that's
Thank
a
you.
D4 added to your roll.
Excellent.
So am I rolling? I thought I was maybe just helping.
We'll say you both roll. You're both doing individual things.
I got
Okay.
a 19 on the dice, so that's 19 plus 2 plus 4.
That's a number. 19 plus 2
25.
plus 25. Okay.
And I've got a 19.
Amazing. The rest of you watch as Varya and Lorcan kind of move to the center of the crowd and start to do this. Villagers go fleeing left and right. They kind of crash into each other, into the tents, into the horses, which are startled by this. There is quite a chaotic scene now occurring in the market square. And as this is happening, the city watch appears quite confused, but they're able to see what the cause of this is, specifically Varya, because Varya is tallest, and specifically a guard who was standing sort of to your left in a small alley between a closed perfumery shop called Goodwif's and a bathhouse called Bathers. He kind of makes his way up to you. He's got his green and goldenrod uniform on, and he goes, I'm sorry, what is going on? You cannot
Just trying to get through, not anything, just wanted to make a loud noise, get through the crowd. Moving on.
Did you consider asking? You know, you could have said, excuse me, could I come past?
Don't
people
have
would
time for
moved.
this. You want to bring it up with me later? You know where I live. Okay, let's go. Move out.
Okay, so Varya makes her way onwards. The people that you have scared are now bottlenecking the alleys away from this area. The guard kind of stands with the rest of you. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm following Varya.
Following the Loxodon.
Okay.
I'd follow, but in Varya's wake and kind of going to scare people. She's very nice, really. Have a lovely festival.
While fleeing.
I think as going past the guards, I will kind of give them a look and say, I am sorry, but it is an emergency.
Right. Okay. Oh, you've gone. Right. Dusk, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'll follow along as well.
All right. Okay. So Varya, first up, you see a bunch of commoners all looking pretty scared of you at this point. They're kind of backing up, but there's a bunch of horses. There's a cart in front. You notice that there's a lot of rubbish lining the streets as well. Tends to happen around festival time. The Dung Sweepers Guild gets kind of wrapped up in what they're doing. They get kind of swamped. What would you like to do?
Move out the way. If I could blast the classic tune, I would, but that doesn't. I don't know that "Move, Wench, Get Out the Way" exists in.
Amazing. Heimlich, perhaps that exists. Perhaps that's something that you can play on the Saturn.
If you hum it, I will attempt to play it. Touch through the whispers in my head with all the music that has ever existed in all of time. So if it's after, we can play it. In my head from something called the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
It's very appropriate at this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da.
Great.
Start playing that thing from the Jungle Book.
Amazing. Could we have, please, a performance check from Heimlich? And Varya, we'll go for intimidation check from you and we'll combine those and see what happens.
Okay.
22 here.
17.
Okay, cool. So the commoners kind of think that Heimlich is part of the festival and kind of gravitate towards you, Heimlich. Varya, with your intimidation, they kind of move with more speed away, and you do get a channel down one of the streets, which I'm guessing you're all gonna kind of gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Could I please get some history checks from someone?
16.
21.
Ooh, nice. We'll go with Embers then with that 21, unless anyone has higher. Okay. Ember, 21 with a history check. You've been with this group for a while. Some of them know the quick ways to get around town. In fact, you know that with that 21, you know that although movement is kind of slow, you are going to have to budge past some commoners. If you take a right, then a left, then a right, then a left, and then straight ahead, you'll get there quicker. And hopefully the back streets aren't as festooned with people as the main streets. Or you could try the sewers, but given the situation of all the bins, probably not the best idea.
If we do a right and then a left and a right, then a left and then straight up, we'll get there faster.
Lead the way.
All right.
I might cast light on my head so that they don't lose me.
Ember's head, kind of small, like a pea, glows with this light as it kind of zips through these alleyways. Please, can everyone make a survival check for me, please?
I got
15.
2.
Amazing.
26.
19.
Okay. Between you, even with that 2, you succeed. So in these back streets, the cobbles lose their perfect sheen, and they become dusty. You pass various buildings as you go. There are homes with narrow alleys that wind in a maze-like fashion, shops with broken stock outside and empty crates. You see restaurants with back doors open that are sort of letting out the smells of breakfast. There are some taverns with empty beer barrels and fruit flies, and it is the height of summer. In the most festive period of Waterdeep, you do notice a lot more rubbish than usual. You get to like the alley before the final turn to where the yawning portal is. This is piled high with rubbish. So rubbish in our terms is plastic bags, but rubbish in D&D terms, I like to think, is kind of like muslin sacks, sort of a cheap kind of fabric that would hold items. So that is kind of what's piled up high either side of this alleyway. How are you proceeding through this? You will have to kind of pick your way through. Amber's flying.
With my newfound abilities, I will walk along the walls rather than the floor.
I mean, I think Kato is going to go and climb on the wall, but yeah, Lorcan is left to just kind of try and trudge through this as best as possible.
Spotting this, Ember will druid craft the spell of roasting steak under Lorcan's nose to try and like blot out some of the horrible rubbish smell.
Nice.
Oh, thank you, Amber. That is very much appreciated.
I'm going to tiptoe through, being an elephant. Actually quite naturally athletic and graceful, if ever called for. and now seems like it's called for.
I will move carefully, and I will also be prestidigitating a nice aroma under my nose.
Cool. So I believe that Lorcan and Heimlich have the best perception, right? Passive perception.
Yeah.
As you two specifically are proceeding, with that passive perception, you're able to see perhaps Varya close to it, picking through the rubbish at this point. You see two slightly shifting forms, and it looks like actual rubbish that is shifting. Now this alleyway is like a 10-foot wide space, and these shifting forms perhaps about 15 foot away from Varya at this point in time. What would you like to do?
Would a very high passive insight tell me what these shifting forms are? Or I can do an insight check if you prefer.
I wouldn't say insight to tell what these things are. I'd say more perhaps a nature check would be the best kind of thing.
Okay. Rubbish at that though.
Oh.
13?
13. Not natural in the sense of creature. These are odd things. You've not seen these before. You've perhaps heard of them before. They're called shambling mounds, and they tend to take the form of whatever they are around. And Waterdeep's quite a magic place. There tends to be quite a lot of magic going on with like the things that people throw away. These things are quite good at consuming, but Varya at this point would be about 10 foot away and is unaware of this at this point.
Varya, watch out, there's it's a sort of mound of rubbish. I know that's obvious.
Oh shit!
Something in the rubbish that is consuming it, and it's right in front of you. Can you right there? I could have point my nose at it.
Then I hit it.
Okay. Cool. Fire. In fact, we'll go with all of you. Why don't you go ahead and roll a initiative, please? 1 second.
I mean, surely I go first. This is a surprise round, no?
Sure. Why not?
I've
Why not?
surprised this shambling rubbish.
But if we could get initiative rolls anyway, and then we'll do the surprise round first.
Hey, Dusk, would you like a vigilant blessing?
What does it mean?
Initiative. Advantage on initiative.
I mean, I just rolled and I got a 25, so I'm okay.
Yeah, well.
Thank you.
Said it, I probably shouldn't give it to anyone else.
So sorry, that was just with a 25, was that?
Yep.
Christ. Okay.
I rolled a nat 20.
Nice.
Me
So that's
too.
a 22.
I was feeling so proud of myself with a flat 17. Come on.
Jesus.
24 here.
So Varya with a 22. Heimlich with a 24. Ember, what did you get, sorry?
17.
17. Still pretty good for a cleric, not gonna lie.
I know.
And Lorcan, what did you get?
1.
Amazing!
Yay.
What's your modifier?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. 3.
It's better than 1. Okay, so Varya, surprise round. These things do not have eyes, they do not see you. To your left, you do see these forms now shifting, made of this weird muslin material, this fabric. The one to the left is green. It's got this kind of mossy goop, slimy kind of appearance. Looking at it now, it does look different to the rest of the rubbish heap around you. That's to your left. To your right, there is a brown shambling mound. This one, I'm going to call it the trash mound, is covered in litter and worse. I'll leave that to your imagination. So, with that surprise round, Varya, which one are you going for? The one to the left or the one to the right?
I'm going to go for the one to the left, because I think that was the first one I saw.
Got you. All right. So, roll to hit.
I would love to. That's cocked.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, It's an 18.
Oh, that'll hit.
Yeah.
Your damage.
Yeah. It's 11 on the dice, but because of these lovely gauntlets, it's plus
Yeah.
7 now.
Hooray.
5.
5. Okay.
That was the first attack.
Got you. Roll your second attack.
No. It went away. That's a nat 20. So I roll
Oh,
and
that'll
double
hit.
damage.
Yes.
10 plus 4, 14 times 2. 28.
So the first hit kind of grazes this kind of goopy surface, but the second kind of takes a good chunk off the top. Litter does kind of spill out of the top of this mound, but you've done a fair whack of damage to it with a 28. That's a lot of damage on one hit. Wow. Okay. Are you staying where you are, Varya? Are you doing anything else?
I'm going to... I need to decide whether I'm raging. I don't know that it's worth it for trash.
That is like so offensive. The trash looks offended at that point.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, I guess my question is, did I crit?
I believe so. With that natural 20, you criterated, surely, yes.
Sure. Well, then I've got a great weapon master attack, so I get to make another melee weapon attack as my
Oh,
bonus
wow.
action. Yeah.
Sure, go for it.
So, rolling again. That's an 18 on the dice. So 18 plus 7. Does that hit?
Yes, that definitely hits. The rest of you watch as Varya just lays into this mountain of trash. Varya, what's your damage?
That's a 9.
9. Okay. Smells kind of gross. Not going to lie about that, but you're doing some good work here, Varya.
Yeah.
With that
That's
surprise
my
round.
bonus. Yeah.
So if that's you, we'll move into initiative. Starting up with Dusk.
So- Go on, you said.
You're on the wall, so I'm going to put you 10 foot above the one to the left.
Okay. Is you mentioned that they can't see. Is that something that like is obvious about them, or is that something that's like if you know, but you don't know necessarily?
They don't have eyes. They're aware of you, but they don't have eyes with which to see. So stuff like darkness perhaps wouldn't work.
Okay. Interesting. In which case, I think Dusk will use 2 key points to cast Silence in a 20-foot sphere that is kind of encompassing them and maybe Varya, but ideally not the party, and specifically not Heimlich as much as possible. With the view to basically make us all indetectable because they won't be able to hear anything. Yeah, that's what I'll do as an action.
So just to confirm, are you including Varya within that?
I think so, because Varya's in melee range, so I'm guessing that would be the case.
Yeah. I mean, you could position it slightly further back, but
It's
yeah,
fine.
you'd probably get fire in it. Varya, the world.
I think
goes
Dusk
silent.
wouldn't think it would be too much of an issue if Varya can't make noise. It might even be a benefit.
Is that a concentration spell, Dusk?
It is a feature that allows me to cast it without providing material components. So, but it is a concentration spell. But do I have concentration on it? I guess
I
yes.
Believe you.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would
you'd
make sense.
concentrate on that.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So Dusk, on the wall, you cast the spell to the creatures. Varya, everything goes completely silent. And Heimlich, we'll move over to you. Now, I don't know if you make any noise song-wise at them. I don't think they'll be able to hear it, but you can do some other stuff.
I'll read you what the spell Silence says. Silence says, any creature entirely inside the suit is immune to thunder damage. Creatures are deafened while entirely inside it. So yeah, presumably anything that was like that they needed to hear, they wouldn't be able to hear.
But there are people outside of the zone of silence.
No.
Who's
I think
outside?
the only person's Varya who's within.
Cool. So for my bonus action, I'm going to flip over my vial, the white one, which has got scratched into the other side a reading board, a spirit board. A number of other words in this material plane we live on, but we don't call it that for D&D terms. And from a bonus action, I'm going to pull a story from the spirits, A Tale from Beyond. Tale number 3. And Tale of the Beloved Friend.
Ooh. Tell us what that does.
I'll tell you it when I cast it. I'm not doing it yet.
Oh, got you.
It's not actually that much use yet, but we'll make a note of it. And then for my action, I will send a guidance over to Kato.
Got you. You have a fun guidance, don't you? You don't have to touch the person.
No, I have a range of 60 foot. So Kato hears a little whispering in his ear of some dead person giving a bit of advice. Do this. Didn't work out for me, but maybe give it a go. Or what I didn't do is this. You should do that. That's the guidance.
Got you. So Kato again, up on the wall near dusk, to the left-hand side, about 10 foot above the creature to the left, gets this guidance.
And then I'll just slowly move carefully away from these trash monsters.
Got you. So just to confirm, you are in this alleyway, which is 10 foot wide. The creatures each take 5 foot, so they are blocking the way. So we'll see how that goes with getting past for those who cannot fly or walk on walls. But Heimlich, you're out of range at the moment anyway. You're about sort of 20 foot away from this scene at the minute. Okay. Varya, we're back over to you in silence. What would you like to do? Please tell me.
Yeah, just hit it, please.
All right, roll to hit.
I need to actually manage to get it in. That is a 14.
14 just misses.
Okay.
Perhaps that bit that you lopped off before you were hitting for again, and you can't connect.
Sorry, I'll try again.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and that's a 23. No, wait, 20. Yeah, 23.
23. That definitely hits. Roll your damage.
That's a 10. So I assume that's a crit, right?
How do you mean?
The second action was a critical hit.
Oh, was it?
Well, 23.
23. I thought a crit is a natural 20.
Oh, what do I know?
That's just in my mind. It's a
What do I
critical
know?
hit.
Very fine.
You can check
yeah,
later,
so that's,
but I'm fairly certain a crit
that's
is
fine.
a...
So, yeah, no worries. That's a 10. That's
10
a
points of
10's
damage.
worth of great axe damage.
Amazing. I mean, technically it is kind of critical in the fact that you're slicing it, but I believe critical is a natural 20.
Not a problem. What I'm going to do next with my bonus, if that's all right,
Of course it is.
or my action rather, I am going to holding that in one hand. I'm going to use my trunk and get a bin lid.
Okay. Easy enough to do. The trunk, as you're slicing, the trunk avoids the slicing hand and reaches for this bin lid.
Yeah.
All right. And the rest of you watch like a silent movie. Varya kind of moves with effortless ease and grabs a silent bin lid from a metal bin. Is that your go, Varya?
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So the green thing in front of you is going to try and attack you. Knowing that there is something there, it will attack with disadvantage given the silence of the situation. You have eyes, so you're fine. The creature will roll at disadvantage. It gets 2 attacks. The first one is a 19 at disadvantage. Yep. The second was a natural 20, reduced to in total 15.
No.
So 1 hits. That's lucky for you. Not going to tell you why. Then you receive... it slams into you. It tries to once, but you dodge it, perhaps hitting it with the bin lid as it attempts. The second attack is 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Dang.
And I think it's quite confused. It's not very clever. It's not very clever at all. You notice it trying to move, but it's going to move into the shambling mound next to it. Apparently confused about its location in space. That is its go. We move over to Ember. Ember, flying in the air, you can place yourself where you want. I don't have a specific area for you in my mind, so please tell us.
It depends. Vaya, how poorly do you look?
I look not brilliant. I've taken quite a lot of damage, and we didn't have a short rest in between the morning's rats as well.
Well, I do quite like Vaya being alive, you know. It is quite handy, really. So, is there anything snazzy I can do? Sorry, I'm reminding myself what my channel divinities do.
You're not worried.
Yeah, I will, as an action, hold my holy symbol, which is my ring, and cast Twilight Sanctuary. I'll make sure I'm within 30 feet of Vaya so that she ends her turn. We've done this before, so the party should know that if you end your turn within my sphere, you get some hit points back. And that was an action. And then just because she won't get that straight away and she's looking a bit lousy, and that wasn't a spell, that was a channel divinity, as a bonus action, because I'm just really nice like that, I will cast Healing Word at 2nd level. So it's not very, that's 2d4 plus, it should say it right on my sheet. Where are my eyes? Where are my eyes? My eyes are there. 2d4 plus 4 on Vaya.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, and that's a 3 and a 4, so that's 11 points of healing straight away, and then there's a nice little sphere of twilight following me around.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hit it.
You don't hear Vaya say that because she's in silence, but you do watch
Really
Vaya.
good
Thank you.
lip reading.
So Ember, floating above this silent area, you're able to cast the spell, direct it towards Vaya. The spell does take effect, though Vaya has no idea who said what, but is feeling a bit better for it. Is that your go, Ember? I'm assuming it is.
Yes, and I will try and position myself so that anyone in the party can reach me on their turn.
Cool, nice. The creature next to the green shambling mound, the one that's covered in litter, trash, and worse, is going to try and just shamble forwards, not really aiming for anything in particular. Vaya, it does pass your area of movement if you wish to get an attack of opportunity.
Or do. That is a 15.
15 just hits.
Nice. Okay. That is 12 points of damage.
Nice. It takes that and kind of stops slightly. These things don't move very fast. They move about 20 foot per round. But it does create a gap in between. That's all it's going to do on its go. We will move over to Lorcan. Lorcan, what would you like to do?
Okay, first thing, Larkin would move into the Ember's healing sphere. And look up at Kato and just shout, "Kato, thorns!" At which point, Kato will use the bonus action to cast Hail of Thorns at 2nd level. And as he's doing so, he's pulling out his hand crossbow. Which one is he closer to?
It will be closer to the green shambling mound near Vaya, which is directly down about 10 foot from him in the space.
Cool. Then he'll take a crossbow, 2 crossbow shots at that. And I've got guidance, don't I?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Or Kato has guidance. Cool. Okay, so that is a... hang on, wait. 17 to hit.
17 definitely hits, yes.
And then the second one... Oh, that's only a 7. That's bad.
So that does not hit.
That's okay. So I'm also going to use my favorite foe again,
Nice.
which gets me another d6 of damage. So,
damage.
so it's 12. And then that is 24 points of damage.
24 points of damage. Whew. Wow, so that first shot hits, it whistles through the air. If these things were not in silence, you'd hear us like fart noise as it pierces the bin, although it's currently in silence, but it happens. The shambling man probably knows about it. The hail of thorns also kicks in, doesn't it?
Yeah. So as he fires the crossbow, as the bolt kind of flies through the air, it sort of like splits off into a bunch of thorns.
Nice. Yeah, and it's just peppered now with these little pierced marks. That second shot did not hit. It kind of clang off the wall. But yeah, is Kato staying where he is?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. All right. In that case, we will move over to Dusk. Still concentrate.
Oh, sorry. Do I also? Is it the end of my turn? I get healing from the sphere.
Yes, it's
How much?
1d6 plus 7. Ooh, that's max. 13 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Okay, awesome.
Very nice.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for reminding me as well. All right, so we will move on over to Dusk, still concentrating on the silence spell. What would you like to do?
Dusk will walk over along the wall, alongside where Varia is, to like where the green one is,
Yeah.
and just give us some of that good old punch in action.
If
So
in doubt,
I'll
punch.
I'll throw 3 at you. So I got a 20,
Oh, hits.
a 13,
13 misses, I'm afraid.
and 27.
Nice. So 2 hit, 1 misses. The one that misses, you do connect, but you hold your punch too early. It doesn't do anything.
Cool. In which case, then the double punches that do connect do a total of 16 bludgeoning damage.
Nice. So you punch twice into this thing. Although there is no sound, there is certainly a smell, Dusk. With every punch, there's an exhale of air from this mound of bins. It's bad. It's definitely bad, but it's looking kind of shaky at this point. Are you staying where you are?
Unfortunately, yes.
Got you. Within the fart smell. Good. Heimlich, speaking of fart, Heimlich, over to you. What would you like to do? You're welcome.
So, the big green lump that moved, did it move in my direction?
So it was the brown one to the right-hand side. I do put you about 20 foot away, so it is moving very slowly towards you, perhaps 10 foot away at this point.
And how far is Varia away from me at the moment in your head?
About 30 to 40 foot away from you.
Okay, having observed how much it moved, I'm going to move 10 foot backwards.
Got you?
That feels safe.
Yes.
And then I'm going to pluck a bright, cheery note on my vial, and it will spring into life a healing energy. It doesn't need to be heard. It just sends these good vibes, good vibrations over to Varia for a healing word. And because I'm playing that through my spiritual focus, I can add a d6 to it. So that's good. That's 8 plus 5, 13 points of healing, Varia.
Thank you.
I will do guidance again to Kato. So flip the vial over, slap my hand on it, and you get another little whisper in your head.
Awesome. Cool. All right. In that case, Heimlich, a lot of flourishes, a lot of noise comes from your direction.
If I for a bonus action, I would make the cape billow, but
Oh, no.
a whole action economy at the moment, so...
Got you. We'll move over to Varia in that case. The green slime in front of you at this point.
Seems very boring, but to Varia, nothing about this is boring. This is what she lives for. And the thing is, it's not even like she knows that up ahead, for whatever reason, because Ember sounded very urgent about it, there are going to be more important things to hit in the future. And so she just hits this thing again. I think. Not bothering
Sure.
with anything fancy. No cool. Holy guacamole! That's a nat 20. First one.
How many nat 20s have you had today? I love these dice. They're awesome.
I know. It's green and it's metallic, and I love it.
Awesome.
To be fair, my other dice have not been so kind to me, but okay, that's a 5 plus 4 on my d12. So damage. So that's 9 times 2 is 18.
18. Wow. Okay,
first.
so that's your first hit. Yep.
Yeah. And that's a 15 plus 7, so that's a 23.
Yes.
Okay. And that's a 1 plus 4, so that's 5 points of damage.
Okay. Fire, you critted.
I did crit, so I'm going to do it
Critted again.
Okay, well, that's 5 plus 7, that's 12 for the third one.
12 does not hit, I'm afraid.
No.
Perhaps,
that's it.
Fire, you were too giddy.
Was.
It was just too much. But what I will say, considering that was a critical hit on that first one, Vaya, tell us how this pile of rubbish gets destroyed in silence.
In silence. It's very important that it's in silence. You see Varia lift up and then bring her weapon back down again. And it goes splat and stops moving. And then she just hits it weaker a couple times, missing on the last one, and sort of looks back at the rest of the alley and just goes, yeah.
I like to think you were like screaming all the way through that, but no one heard.
No one heard. No one heard.
You are covered in green slime, by the way. At this point, you are head to toeing the green slime as that mound is no more. Thank you, Vaya. In silence, you did a lot of damage.
You get 9 temporary hit points.
Thank you.
Present! How
I
exciting.
love this present.
Right?
Does that, Rebecca, does that add on top of even if you've lost no health?
Even if you've lost what, sorry?
Even if you've lost no health?
Yeah, temp hit points just go on top. The only thing it can't do is stack with other temp hit points.
Very nice. I will add them to myself as well then.
Oh, I'll roll for you. You get 10 temporary hit points.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Imagine that each of them comes with jazz hands.
That's amazing. Speaking of jazz hands, we move over to Ember. Ember, it's your go.
One's already dead. I don't want to waste any heavy spells. I would like to Sacred Flame the other one, please.
Oh,
Now, I made a mistake last time and I rolled to hit. Actually, I should have asked you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
okay, sure. I will do that. That would be a 6 minus 1. So
Yeah,
that would be a
cool.
5.
No, that does not save. 2d8 of damage. Oh, that's not very good. That's 9 points of damage.
Still, it was not expecting that. This
Pew pew.
this pew pew of divine energy whistles over to it, and rubbish and worse goes everywhere. Anything else, Ember, you'd like to do?
Is anyone feeling particularly unwell? I'll save my spells when there's an emergency up ahead. I will look cool.
Got you. This creature is gonna try and shamble towards Heimlich, being the only sort of thing it's got any reference point for. Heimlich, you're kind of 30 foot away, so it does end up 10 foot in front of you. The rest of you would be quite a way away from this at this point. I'd say 30 foot away minimum. That's all it will do. The path is clear, just so you know at this point. There's nothing stopping you moving ahead. But Lorcan and Kato, what would you do?
I think so. Based on the fact that I mixed up my characters, Kato is the one that had a bit of damage, so Larkin didn't need temporary hit points. So currently, Larkin has a bunch of extra hit points, so he's going to wade in, and as he sees this mound going for Heimlich, he's going to just basically run round it and get in between the two of them, and just attack it.
All right. What sort of attack is that?
It's just a bite attack.
Okay. All right. Roll to bite.
So, sick. 6.
6. Oh, that misses. You do connect. You do get some horrible taste in your mouth, but you do not do any damage, I'm afraid. Lorcan, do you just get 1 bite or do you get 2?
No, I'm just a wolf, so I'll just get the 1 bite.
I'm just a wolf. Okay, cool. All right, Lorcan. Heimlich, you feel a bit more secure now that someone is in front of you, but we'll move over to Dusk, still on the wall. The green mound that was beneath you now is no more.
Cool.
Varya's there. It's still quite quiet in this area. What would you like to do?
So how far away is the brown mound?
Brown mound from you guys, about 30 foot.
Okay, so presumably it's outside of the silence as well.
Correct, yes. It's shambling towards Lorcan now.
In which case I will I'll run across because I have 40 feet speed to where that one is.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drop the silence. I don't know if does that require like an action idea? I think it's
No, you're able to just stop that.
And then I will again re-enter my sideways punching expertise. That's a natural 20, my 3rd crit of the evening.
Gosh.
25 and a natural 1. So
On the flip side, nice.
exactly. So my crit is 15 damage, and then my other attack is 10 damage, and then the natural 1 is up to you.
Okay, yes, good point. So where are you in space right now? Are you still on the wall?
I'm still on the wall.
Okay, got you. How high up are you?
I'm
you would
gonna
be quite close to be able to
I would
punch,
say,
surely.
yeah, whatever. I would say I am the highest I can be while still being in melee range.
Understood. You're about 5 foot off the ground.
Okay, fine.
Could you roll a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
I can. That is a natural 1 again. That's a 9.
Oh no. The rest of you watch as Dusk kind of in slow motion falls off the wall. It's kind of uncanny, and it looks like Dusk is actually meaning to do this when Dusk is not. You watch as Dusk immediately falls on top of this creature with all those natural ones, is technically engulfed at this point, and we'll come around to that in a second. All you see are 2 little legs just dangling out the top.
Nice.
Thank you, Dusk. That was lovely. We'll come back to that in a little minute. Just so you know, at the start of this mound's go, it's going to start crushing you, Dusk. At the start of your next go, you can try and attempt to get out.
Cool. Sounds like a healthy relationship.
But no pressure. Heimlich, what would you like to do? Just so you know, you can still damage this creature if you wish, or you can try and pull Dusk out instead.
Well, having Lorcan right in front of me, the ferocious wolf, and seeing Dusk fall into it, I'll use my bonus action to make the cape of billowing billow dramatically, and I will pluck a note on my vial and say, "You are trash!" And I will cast Vicious Mockery at it through the vial for an extra d6. So make a Wisdom saving throw, trash.
It rolled a trashy 5.
Hey. So that's 2, 4, 5 psychic damage to your
Nice.
trashy.
Nice. It takes that. Dusk within, you feel some regret from this creature, and you're not quite sure what happened. Heimlich, are you staying where you are? Between you and this creature is Lorcan. You would be able to move freely if you wanted.
No, we're facing down a trash heap. I'm not running on my compatriots.
Cool. In that case, Varya, what would you like to do? 30 foot behind you, there's this creature with 2 little legs sticking out of it.
Luckily enough, my movement covers that
Nice.
easily. So what I'm going to do is walk up to it, I suppose. Can I roll strength or something to get our lovely little legs out of the trash?
Of course you
Can I
can.
get Dusk out?
Yes, you can use your action to do a strength check, please.
Yeah. Let's go. No. That was a natural
Oh
one.
my gosh.
Oh, no.
Good,
We're
good,
getting
good.
so many nat ones now with
Come
James.
join
My
me, come
first
join me.
nat one.
Join me in the
this
mound.
campaign. So I think I sink my arm into it, and it's stuck.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do is say that you can't be stuck because it can only engulf one thing at one time, but it's gonna on its go, it's gonna do the crushing damage on you, not Dusk.
Okay, that's fine.
'Cause that seems
Probably
seems fair.
better, to be fair.
So Fire, that is your go. You don't get your extra attack because of that. You've used your action to do an action.
Yeah, I've used my action.
You may still rage if you want to rage, but it's up to you.
I'm not raging yet. I am going to look down at Dusk and go, yikes.
Dusk, you hear muffled through this creature. Thank you, Vaya. I will move over to Ember.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, from appearances, it still looks like Dusk is in the worst position, right? Because he's head first. I would like to fly down and try and pull Dusk out. I'm quite strong. It might work.
Roll
it might
strength
not
check,
work.
please.
Can you cast guidance on yourself? Is that a thing you can do? Someone who knows more about spells.
Is it an action though?
No. you
Oh, it
can't.
is also an action. Yeah, it can be yourself, one willing creature, but yes, I don't want that to be my action. I will just pray instead. Actually, Ember will pray. As a it was a natural 20.
Yay!
It really was.
It's such a weird game. Okay, yes. This little tiny fairy flits on up to this creature, plucks Dusk, and just gracefully drops Dusk to the floor, 10 foot away from this creature, just so you are safe. Ember, anything else on your turn you'd like to do?
Yeah, as a bonus, I might healing word Varia again because she's still got her hand stuck in a shat.
Please do not.
I won't.
Varia looks healthier than she's ever looked in her life, even with her arm fisting this trash.
Then I will say a little prayer of thanks to Araleth and dust some poo off Dusk's shoulder.
Done almost expertly, Ember. You dust this poo off Dusk's shoulder. You feel a warmth from Araleth just in your heart. It kind of spreads, seemingly happy. So, Vaya, it's the trash man's go. It is going to attempt to crush you.
Okay.
In fact, I believe it just does so automatically. Oh, could you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
Yes, I can. That's a 19.
Hey, you're all kind of good. It feels like it's crushing your arm, but you brace against it, and it's unable to do that.
I flex.
I think it's going to try and move, but it can't because it's like flanked on all sides at this point, I think. No, it's not. It's going to try and back up. That means that Vaya and Lorcan, and we'll say Dusk as well, will get an attack of opportunity as it's going to try and escape whatever madness this is.
20.
20.
16.
Hits.
15.
Just hits. Roll your damages.
Just 6.
10.
Nice.
Oh. It has to roll a strength saving throw as well.
Okay. Strength saving throw is 16.
Yeah, it passes.
Okay. Fire, have you done your damage?
Yeah, it's 7 plus 4 is an 11.
11 points of damage. Oof, this creature not looking too healthy as it's trying to escape from all of you. We will move over to Lorcan. The creature is now 15 foot away from you. It's moved down back through the alley.
Cool. I would like... so as a bonus action, Lorcan will take the help action to help Kato with his attack.
Nice. Like it.
Which, Lorcan basically just runs over and tries to kind of pin the... or maybe runs around it and stops it going any further, I think, up the alley.
You can kind of place yourself there, yeah.
Yeah. And then Kato is going to pull out his two swords and basically just kind of jump off the wall and down on this thing.
Nice.
So one of those attacks gets advantage. Oh, good. So that's a 22.
Yes, that will definitely hit.
And then that one, oh no, that's only an 11.
That misses, I'm afraid.
Yes. So,
Tato
5.
still have a guidance?
Sorry?
Didn't Tato still have a guidance from before?
No, I used that last time when with the crossbow. So that's only 9 points of damage on that.
9 points of damage. This creature is on its way out, but it's not quite there yet, Lorcan and Kato. Could I just get an acrobatics check for Kato as Kato comes off the wall? We'll see how
Yes.
flourishy that is.
5.
5. Okay. Kato tries. Maybe not as dexterous as you would want. He kind of just like flusters his way through the air and kind of just slices at the creature. It's not that great, but at least it wasn't a natural one. We'll move over then, in that case, Lorcan, over to Dusk. Dusk, you've just been spat out of, well, you've been gently lifted out of this creature. You are covered in a lot of stuff. What would you like to do? The creature is sort of, I'm going to place it 5 to 10 foot away from you. It's going along the alleyway.
In which case, I think that I will, once again, go for one of those little run up and. That's how I do it. That's how I think of it. Very close.
Yep.
To the face.
This has been a game of fists.
It's been a game of fisticuffs. So far, it's worked out quite well for me. That's a 21.
21 will hit.
That's a 20.
That'll hit. Is that a natural 20?
Nah, unfortunately not. And a 15.
Just hits. All 3 hit. How
So
many key
that-
points have you used so far today?
None. This is all just normal because I get
Oh,
2
wow.
attacks per action and then a bonus
Oh yeah, you
attack
bonus
action.
action, don't you? Nice.
Yeah. I've only used 2 for the silence, and that was it.
Amazing.
So that is a total of 25 points of damage.
Just considering you were consumed by this creature, do you want to tell us how you end it?
Yeah.
I think Dusk will go for 2 kind of like haymakers, like one to the left, one to the right, and then one kind of smash down, and then as it kind of just disperses everywhere, and I kind of feel like splashes on everyone probably. I feel like, or at least anyone that's nearby, Dusk will kind of say, "Yeah, don't do that. That's mean." Which for Dusk is the equivalent of yelling into the
That was beautiful. You are all covered in various bits and bobs. Cool. So these creatures are now no more. The Yawning Portal Tavern is actually visible at the end of this alleyway.
We should go.
Well, yes, otherwise somebody's going to ask us to clean up this fucking mess.
The emergency.
Dusk looks at Heimlich and does whatever Heimlich's physical gesture is for prestidigitation.
Oh, yes. So do a little whistle and start cleaning people off. And also to Dusk, I'll say, you often sneak ahead of the rest of us, and I think this might be useful to you from your pink friend. I give you the healing potion.
Oh. I nod. I say, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll prestidigitate everybody as we're moving along.
Thank you, Heimlich.
Thank you very much.
So
Yuck.
before you begin to depart after getting cleaned up from all the horrible nastiness that was that fight, looking around, you see something different. You've noticed various bits and pieces, but this is new. There are quite a few posters lining these walls. They appear to be missing posters, plastered upon the walls. There are quite a few, some faded by the sun, but there's 3 recent ones that stand out. Drawn in quite a fun hand, you see 3. One is a tiefling called Yonsef Bright Moon. They have deep red skin and a confident yet roguish grin. The one next to it is Terry Greatshoe. Heimlich, you recognize this person. They are a bard of the College of Eloquence. They bear a big grin. Next to that, the most recent is Agatha Mantlebrim. Agatha is a paladin of Tempest, and she has a flaming sword embossed upon her full plate armor. These kind of continue as if someone's kind of repeatedly put them up. There is a common theme here. Went down the yawning portal and didn't come back. And that's where we'll go ahead and finish today's episode. Thank you, everybody. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us and being part of the subdued chaos that was tonight's show. If you enjoyed tonight, we play every Tuesday from 6 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Pacific. We also play Flustered in the Feywild on Mondays, same time, 6 p.m. UK, 10 p.m. Pacific. 10 a.m. Pacific, my bad. It is a ridiculously hilarious campaign DM'd by Emma. I have first-hand experience of playing in it, and it is so much fun, so please check that out. On Saturdays, we have Talk Together, same times. It's our chat show where we interview our players, DMs, and other TTRPG industry voices. All of our shows are streamed at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG, and you can find all of our content archived at youtube.com/RollTogetherRPG. There are also podcast versions of all our shows available everywhere. Just search for Roll Together RPG. Massive thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. There will be a link in chat now. Do join them. Every penny helps us make all of the content that we do. Big thanks again to our sponsors, Hero Forge Ultra Pro, Elderwood Academy, and our supporters D&D Beyond, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, Warriors of Waterdeep, and Level Up Dice. And don't forget, we are all over social media as Roll Together RPG. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.